David, move down. Can y'all move down a little bit?
No, this is all you got down. We turn it up.
Big niggas over there. Y'all need to get Dave on the Instagram.
We plus
hey, Rodney Pierce. Hey, Breeder. Hey, everybody. We're going live in just a second. Real quick.
Rubbing knees on
Real quick, we are not rubbing knees. It's your girl, Mrs. V, live from Thomas J.M.H. Studios, of course. With the show, I've been telling y'all to wait for, hold tight, because it's coming. Tru Grit. In the building, we got Big Dave. Can you woo, woo, woo?
Can you woo, 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 woo?
We got T-Shay, the Dawn.
What it do?
T-Shay introduced our special guest today.
My young bull. I'm not gonna call him little, but we got Jimmy Johnson in the building with us. Vitamin Sports.
Welcome. Tell the people about it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Really
I got a quick question.
Well,
Are you related to Jimmy John? You Jimmy John's son?
I'm just letting you know right now.
Introduce yourself, please, sir.
My name is
Unzip your jacket because it's finna get warm.
Okay, I hear you.
I'm trying to tell you.
My name is Jimmy Johnson Jr. I have a podcast called Vitamin Sports. You take vitamins every day, just like you talk about sports every day. I'm happy to be here, to get some jewels and to learn from this experience. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, I hope that we could be a good example to set for you before we start.
So Rodney,
let me say, I just want to let everybody know we don't want any smoke.
Yeah, we do.
The views and the opinions here of David is not the views and the opinions of Thomas J.M.H. Studios. I got to be honest, this shit is going to get real. This is a topic that people, Jimmy, people get personal about. Straight or non, or, they get very personal about this topic, so we got to keep it real. I'm going to let y'all know now, Jimmy is only having water, the vitamin man, but these guys got some cognac. I got some timeless peach tequila rum. So we're going in. So first, tell me about your views on vitamins and the LGBT community in sports, Jimmy.
Well, when it comes to sports, people are used to a certain level of how things are typically, shown. So when new elements come in there, people get offended when certain things they're not used to seeing. And like you see in swimming and different sports, like when somebody comes in that's not used to how things are, they get upset about that. They use the word cheating.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people are upset about what's going on with, transgenders coming into sports.
Right.
Because they feel as though, like, for example, they say, like, what if LeBron James went to the WNBA and averaged 100 points, 100 rebounds, and played 5,000 minutes?
How would they feel?
They would feel very upset because when you work so hard for something and if somebody comes in and basically pull the rug up under you, you feel some type of way.
Because let's be honest. Men and women,
Genetically.
I'm trying to be so politically correct with everything I say because this is very sensitive. Genetically, you are born with certain things, certain ways that you yourself. Right. That's in you for that gender. Right. Just because you
for what gender?
For men, men are born with a different testosterone than a woman.
It was more than two genders, though.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just speaking men and women. I'm not speaking.
Just like 7 now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, I'm not speaking all the way around. I'm talking about from birth.
Okay. You speaking
from birth. You're either baby boy or baby girl.
Early 90s.
I got a question, Dave.
Listen, let me finish. No, let me finish, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just saying, from birth, you're either born baby girl on your crib label or baby boy. That's what I'm saying.
Your crib label?
You know how that's a hospital?
They ain't doing that no more.
No.
Y'all
just made my whole point. Real quick, Tavon Harley said, "It's the people of Kevin Samuels tuning in." Tavon.
Kevin Samuels.
David, are we gonna get Tavon into Tru Grit? Because I ain't seen him. Y'all got married and
I tell you what. Well, that's what marriage do to you sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Tay, we
But I
looking for.
definitely like him to come on though, because he definitely has views.
He does
You know
have
what I
views
mean?
and a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
Shakita, thanks for tuning in over here on Facebook. Everybody, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, I appreciate you. What I was trying to say is, genetically,
Mhm.
humans
Mhm.
are born with different levels of testosterone per that person how they born. Is that right?
I suppose, but then I would push back and say, well, what's a human? You know what I mean?
All right, so just let me get this out there before
Come
you
on,
push
talk
back.
to me.
All right, so here's my thing.
Yeah.
Even if you wait 25 years and you get the transgender surgery, right? And now you feel like, all right, I'm a woman, a man from a woman, and I want to do all these female sports. Within you are still, of all those blood chemicals, testosterone chemicals, do they like
And vitamins.
right, and vitamins, like, because I know it's not cut off doing surgery. I know you're not like
So, you
get
know,
chemo and they redrain your blood and give you some new feminine shit. Is
you
what
know,
I'm
but you
saying.
don't have to get the surgery to be considered.
Nope.
You know,
No, what I'm just saying, at what point is it okay for, as your example, LeBron James to go switch over, yeah, this is what I am, transgender, and I'm going to the WNBA and I'm going to kill it. And all these women who are women within their right of their chemical bodies, their vitamins per that woman's body,
estrogen
has worked so hard in this motherfucking brick wall. Put on his hair and come in and kill again. Is that okay?
Yes.
It is okay.
Mhm.
Because
if you have, what's your name? That was the woman of the year.
Jenner.
And people, they cheer that on. So, if that can happen, absolutely. A man can go into women's sports and women can go into
I said, is it okay though?
But will you ever see a woman go into a
Because the thing is,
never.
even when
I want to talk about basketball.
Even when Jenner switched his gender, but that was years ago when he won in the Olympics.
Yes.
He didn't do the Olympics as a woman. He did it as a man. Tell me where it's okay. Now, let me say this. I'm not biased to the LGBTQ plus community. I am not. I did an interview with a young lady, and it was so hard Saturday to keep saying, because I know that she don't want to be labeled. She, her, them. Like, I didn't even know what to say. I had to keep saying, y'all. I felt so lost in the interview. It was really hard, because the first couple times she would look like, it was tough. Yeah. But I don't.
You hit the tiptoe. She could be who she wanted to be, but you hit the tiptoe. You couldn't be who you wanted. Now, mention
I had 48 hours of interviewing people back to back at this convention. Sure. So when they came, I'm already, you know me, what's the mic on? Hey, it's your girl. Boom, boom, boom. And she's like, well, you can't say shit. And if I say, well, how did she and how did her bitch look? Time, like I didn't know where to go at. But I wanted to respect her, yes. But I was lost in everything to say.
Think about it.
I wasn't respected because you came in my face, on my platform, at my camera, and then dared to tell me this.
Guess what you did? You
performed.
You
performed. So imagine that. Imagine that from a man's point of view, right? Because a lot of us grew up in households where you weren't allowed to cry. You weren't allowed to do certain things. You couldn't play with a doll, baby. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that because that wasn't what men do, right?
Right.
So now to tell a man that grew up in a household like that, oh no, that's not a woman. It's they or them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I can't keep up. And it's so some people look at it as being disrespectful. It's not about being disrespectful. It's about we really just can't keep up.
You can't.
It's changing so much.
You really can't keep up. Like I can't. And if you want to talk correctly, I can't call you a them because if you look at the definition of the words, it don't fit in my sentence. Yeah. I have to. I'm not giving you. I'm trying to give you a singular something for you.
And it's crazy.
So if I say it.
So
I'm disrespecting her, but like, where the fuck did she get in?
This is where it kind of draws the line with me, and I'm like, I don't know how much you can get or how much we can. people,
Going
right?
crazy. I'm sorry.
Because it's one of those things where there's still only one gender that can literally have children,
Okay.
right?
Right.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
But it's
So-
2023 and they're saying it's different now.
No, it's not. It's still only one gender that can produce a baby that can a fetus can grow inside of you.
If a woman identifies as a man, but she still has her internal organs. That's what you say.
She's a woman having kids.
Okay, that's how society said.
Listen,
But
well,
bitch,
I need the book because I can't keep
Is
up.
there a book?
I don't think it is because it changes every day. They're working on one.
I will say this, and you can take this wherever you want to, but quote unquote Michelle Obama has a book about being a transgender and how to become one. My first
Wow,
and only
really?
question is
How do you know?
why?
Oh, how do you know?
Well, how do you know? How do you
Well,
know the steps?
the first book she put out was Becoming Michelle. How do you become Michelle if you've always been? You didn't say
So that
become
person
that
that the
could
public
be-
learned
that
to
could be-
love
that-
is not who you are.
Well, no,
you
that
can
could be-
play on the words
Yeah,
if
you
you
can
want
play on
to.
the words. That could be a
And
play on the words.
that's what become Veronica.
But that's how. Yeah, you can play on the words, but that's how people. That's how you get people's attention, though, right? Playing on the words. But with this gender stuff,
Oh, sorry.
there's no way to play on the words with me because I just don't. Maybe it's just I don't get it. Maybe I'm not.
There is
And
no
the
play
thing
on the
is,
words.
I'm not even saying I
It is.
don't
It
get
has to
it.
be. It has to be.
What I'm saying is
They
how.
want it to be.
What I'm
They
saying
is.
is how I was raised. Even if I say it a sentence correctly, if I say them, if I say they, I'm speaking on a group of people.
A group of people. That's
If
how I
I'm having a
know.
singular
Conversation,
interview
she or
with
she.
her and her teammates who still identify as women,
Oh, that's confusing as hell.
that's what had me confused and blown. And because I kept on like stumbling over, and I had to tell her in the middle of the interview, look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I can't talk simple
So
because I felt simple.
it makes you change the English language, and then a lot of people don't know.
Right.
If you look at history, African Americans were called them. So that's kind
For
of
what reason?
because we weren't respected.
There you.
Oh, but hold up. Wait a minute. Let's
Wait a minute. I want to read something.
Right there.
Let
That's
me get over here to the
Yeah,
comments.
that's
Okay.
Yeah.
You already replying to them, Dave. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love it. They be on it. Love it. It's a different kind of vibe.
Here's what it is, though.
Okay.
Let's say where you at. Because if that's the case, because this changes the whole narrative of the conversation, but you open the door.
Yeah.
If that's the case, why did we allow Negro, colored, African American, black? Now we're descendants of descendants of slaves.
Right.
Why did we allow all of that?
And I think
Well, that's the
it was
same
allowed
thing.
because it was an automatic thing for black people to be like.
Who
Hold
else
on,
changed?
come on.
Who else changed? though?
Nobody,
Your question
nobody else
is-
changed
Nobody-
because everybody had an identity. Nobody's identity was robbed but ours.
Mhm.
But you said it like we had a voice in it.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We never had a voice in it.
So all we could do was play the
Oh,
background and take the devil.
But that's the
Then take the
problem.
Negro. Then
But
take
see,
the black.
But that
African American. We was
that thought right there is the problem. That thought right there is the
Mhm.
problem because we didn't have to.
because we didn't
Because
have.
I'm still mad they took Aunt Jemima off the box.
I'm
I didn't
still
actually do
upset.
that. I didn't give a goddamn.
Every time I see the milling company, I'm like, what is that?
For a million company, and I won't buy it.
I feel you.
But it's one of those
I
things
feel
where
you.
we keep saying, well, why did we allow, no, we never had a voice in it. So because we never had a voice
No.
in it, it's not about us allowing
I think
it.
we never
It's
put a
about,
voice in it.
Listen, it comes to media. All of this is controlled by media, right?
I just want to say this real quick before we get too
Is it
far.
controlled by
Tavon said he hit a little bumpy
No,
road.
sir.
He gonna try full triumph, come back, and he gonna be with us. He missed y'all.
That's what's
All
up.
right, all right.
Thank you,
But
Teddy.
look, it's about the media because you got to think. People believe what they see and what they hear, right? I mean, what they hear more than what they see most of the time.
I'm listening.
So whatever they put on TV for us to say, whatever they say and put out in the world, even with social media now, you tend to conform to that, right? But we still are not in no controlling parts of that. It's Jewish America, white America, Asian America, everybody else but Black America
Right.
has a voice in everything that's decided for Black America.
I think
And it goes back to the question where he asked off camera, well, why you don't vote? That's why I said.
because my voice still.
You see how it came back?
Mhm.
Came right back
David
around.
had
And we ain't even started nothing yet. It came right back
But
around.
it's one of those things where until we get a seat at the table, why do we keep them home?
That's the question to black people.
It is. It's a broader question. It's to all of us though. Like, this is my thing. I tell everybody I am not politically correct by any means, source of the word, right?
Right.
And it's not because I don't care about people's feelings. If you decide today or tomorrow that you want to be a man or a woman, that is your business.
Right.
I don't care enough about it to allow it to concern me.
Exactly.
But for me to have to then identify, because if you identify as a woman, right? No, I'm sorry, you're a woman and you identify as a man, and I beat your motherfucking ass, and we go to court, guess what you're gonna still be?
A woman.
You're gonna still be a woman that get your ass whipped by a man.
Yeah.
No, you
You're
can't have it both
better than woman. Let me read this comment real quick. Over here on Facebook, Tavon say, all this supposed to happen. Women spent too much time screaming about being equal men, that womenhood, equal to men, that womenhood lost its meaning. Hopefully the transgenders piss real women off enough that they'll fight
back.
What's going on and things between women and men can return to normal. I'm with everything you just said.
No, 100%. Go ahead.
The word right there, the last word you said, normal.
Make sure you talk.
What's normal?
What's the what? That was our
Everything is changing now. Like history. When you learn in school, you learn just about slavery from elementary to middle to high school. You go to a HBCU, they teach you our history.
Right.
That we weren't just slaves, that we also were kings and queens. And a lot of people don't know that because they don't really get a chance to attend HBCUs. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
If you have the ability to go to a PWI, you should go for it. But if you also have the ability to go to a HBCU, you should go. And like these guys were saying.
All right, so let's break it down a little bit more for people who don't even get a chance to attend college. Everybody don't get a chance to even attend college.
Yeah.
So now tell me on the level of that.
College?
Yeah, like even if you didn't get to attend college, like where would they get the information?
You would have to do what they say black people don't like to do. And that's
read.
Yeah. You can hide anything in the book because the saying was if you want to hide something from African American, you put it in the book.
Put it in the book, they ain't gonna read it.
And like he was saying why are there
African American though.
Yeah.
And people with the color on their skin. Go ahead. I'm telling you, he's gonna be on your back. Just break it down.
But like you said, well, we don't have a seat at the table. All the other communities are united. We are not. We are busy tearing each other down, and nobody wants to sit at a table. And coming from Baltimore, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
When somebody make it, everybody jealous of them.
Yeah.
And they do the wrong things. And then they come back to the norm. Well, instead of you saying, I'm going to rob this guy, why don't you ask him, hey, yo, how you start your business? Or how you promote, these young athletes out here. How you do that?
Show me the way.
Show me the way.
Show me the way, man.
But they won't do that.
You got some that will. But what tends to happen is they have so many naysayers around them or people that are in their minds out to get them that they tend to walk away. The safest place for, and this is sad because if you listen to Bootsy and all these guys, the safest place, like when Young Dolph got killed, he got killed in his own neighborhood. Nipsey got killed in his own neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to say they need to give back to their communities, right? But when they stay in their communities and they give back to their communities, this is what happens. They die in their communities. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing about us is we become suckers as a people because now you are afraid. See, years ago, Malcolm, Martin, those guys were willing to die for the cause.
Right.
You have nobody now that's willing to die for the cause. So until that, you're going to keep having the same issues, the same people, because you got these false prophets. You know what I mean? You got some people that look at Jamal Bryant as a You got some people that look at it as a
Always,
clown.
always
You
heard him
understand
call
what I'm
the camera vixen.
Yeah, but that's the same. That's what I'm saying though.
And
But
I'm sorry.
you asked him, but at one point,
I hate to dwell on this part of him, but when he was here in Baltimore, I attended his services a couple of times, and it was unbelievable to me how people would come up the front who had a light bill that was high, and he could influence the members to pay these light bills, pay for these children's shoes, pay for these things. He wasn't coming out of his own pocket. He just had that influence. And I would always think, how did he have this kind of influence over people? And this is where he's standing right in this bubble right here.
so listen, I'm gonna say this because Jamal Brown got me back in church,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna say that because where I was from, I ain't kidding about church. I grew up in church, but then we went away from church, right? But when he was at Walbrook, so this was before Coppin State and before he got the empowerment temple. You understand what I'm saying? His services was different,
right?
Because he was trying to reach a different type of people.
Yeah, but
when he went to Coppin, those people changed as he grew.
Who
and
those people?
You gotta ask him that. It might have been me as the people because when I went to Walbrook, first time I heard it, I was like, "Oh, he's speaking to me directly." So I felt his message. By the time he got to Empowerment Temple, he was no longer speaking to me. Now, I don't know
who he targeted changed.
I don't know if that's the case or if the influence of the money and the riches and everything around him changed his message. But when he was at Walbrook, when he first started
totally
out,
different. That's where I saw
he was totally
Walbrook.
different. You understand what I'm saying?
So what was there?
It was just
How did the speeches or the sermons change?
It just became so.
I think it became more fashionable.
It did. It
became more targeted riches.
It became more about congregational problems than the world problems and the street problems and neighborhood
because
problems.
I think at that time,
community problems,
his personal life started coming out,
right.
And then even though he had so many members from the LGBT community, once the marriage was approved, he stood in front of the church one day when he was at his church and said he wasn't marrying none of it. He don't attest to it, but since Walbrook, you've been taking these people money. But now it's something about their lifestyle you don't like.
Well, can we sit and say that, and this is my opinion, right?
Right.
I want to hear your view though. Can we honestly say that when it comes to religion, if I don't care what you are, Jehovah's Witness, Muslim, and I believe Islam is a way of life, not a religion. They made it into a religion.
Yeah.
Christianity, all of those things. For a man, if you're not making money in this sanctuary, you're not really there. Unless your wife's like, "Come on, baby, you coming with me today?" What do you think about that?
So are you saying that?
I'm saying that primarily men see through the religion game, right? Spirituality is a whole different piece.
Yeah.
But for the religion, men for the most part see through that. But they will go if the other half say, "Come on, baby," or they making some money.
But what I have to say about him is he had a lot of male members, a lot of males on his ministry board. So I can't say they were all there because of the woman.
Is this
a lot of them
before or after?
A lot of them he brought up through the ranks with him. A lot of them came.
So if they're on the board, are they getting some kind of financial stipend? You said they're on the board.
And I'm sure they are because that's what it holds for.
That's why.
But the thing is, starting out, I think his message to the black community was totally different. And that's what drew them in. Who don't want to see a black man that been where I've been, do what I do, speak to me in such a wide
but that's part of what you were saying, though. You got.
Can I read Rodney Pierce's comment real quick? Rodney Pierce said, "Let's not forget that all these alternatives have hijacked the African American agenda. Blacks are still being brainwashed by the fake freedoms and access to money and fake opportunities. We need to remove all the minority groups from the black agenda to get a seat. They replied to him. He said it depends on the group. He came back and said, drop Bryant from the conversation. He is a false prophet and a money chaser. My God. Okay.
But he didn't start there. I can attest to that. He didn't start
He
there.
didn't start there, or
Do we? Was that his agenda? Was that his agenda? Was his agenda was to get this money? Because if it wasn't, he wouldn't have ended up there.
Well,
If your money changed
hold up,
you,
hold up, hold
you
up.
had to be focusing on it.
But hold up. You gotta understand his family. It's not like he just woke up one day. His father was in the church.
I'm not negating
so this
any
was
of that.
what he was doing, right?
What I said
So,
is,
at one
was
point in
the
time-
money his primary
Oh, I
focus
can't
at the
answer
end?
that. I can't answer that.
Because my thing is to start at Walbrook,
But if he would have
to
stayed at
move to
Walbrook,
Coppin.
if he would have stayed at Walbrook, right?
Well, we talking about growth.
If
That's
he-
why I said start
If
at
he
Walbrook.
would have stayed at Walbrook, would his message have changed? Because you got some pastors that stay at the same place for the same amount of time for their.
And that's why I said it don't show growth.
Does that growth come? And when the money comes, because we all know money changed a lot of people.
But my thing is this: if your focus wasn't the money,
and Walbrook ain't improved at all.
Well,
when the focus,
he was at Walbrook on Sundays. He ain't had nothing to do with
He ain't had
it.
I'm just saying.
but you should have had an impact
It is
on
what
the
it is,
school.
right?
You should have had an impact on the school.
It's whatever
If you
it
said
is.
he
Now,
got a message-
By the time he got to Ricestown Road, we know what Ricestown Road was. That little cut before he turned that in college, we know what that cut was. Because you had the little motel right there.
Yeah.
We know what that cut was. It was at that time.
Matter of fact, the motel remodeled. What is you talking?
It did.
Got
That's
so
what I'm
many
saying.
people.
Listen to what I'm saying. When they put the form, they redid the form. They redid all of that back there. So
Not when they put the phone, because the phone was there first.
I said they redid the form.
No, you said when they put the
So
phone.
the activity's still not going on?
It wasn't. It wasn't. I don't know what's going on.
So
there.
let's
Yeah.
attest to this. Let's attest to this.
But
When he got up to the temple,
it was over. It was already over.
did he?
I
I don't know if you know, but somebody I know who's been there
Yeah.
know that his office wallpaper was Louis Vuitton.
I believe that. I believe it.
To me, your primary focus was the money, because if it was the black people, all that you showing people how to reach each other, how to help out for your neighbor, would have kept going, and you would have still grew, because it would have. He was growing in massive amounts. Let's not say that he didn't.
That's the.
But
I think where the problem.
that's just like
The
a
problem
hustler. That's somebody who come up, as they say, come from the mud.
Mm-hmm.
You get on the streets, you get money, you flipping this, and that. Nigga, you out here
But-
styling and profiling a lot of them who mind is not focused on, let me get my mother a house, let me get my kids in school, let me do this. Their focus is the money, so they styling and profiling. Negro, what's your focus? The money, because you instantly, when you got the money, you became somebody else.
Do you know any? Go ahead.
So I'm starting to hear and I'm starting to put together like she
Make sure
said,
you
a
talk.
hustler. A hustler. If he has that mindset that I wanna give money and
You
make
said
sure
money.
make sure my
Mhm.
family good, then he'll go far. And then when he gets somewhere else like a restaurant business, or I want to grow this restaurant like I grew my family, make sure they was good. Then you establish a franchise the same way. But like I'm hearing is, did he keep the same mindset? Did he keep the same path of I want to help these people, not just in the neighborhood, not just in Baltimore, not just in Maryland, but in the entire world?
Jimmy, can I bring your hand out here,
You
baby?
want to say something?
Bring your hand out here, baby. But you cleaned that up so well, and I have a tendency to get excited, and you'll notice me probably seen it on other
But
podcasts.
that's the
Sometimes
question.
that excitement was what keeps the people viewing, since we was talking about how that's off the topic. But anyway, that's the question, because did he do that? He had the power to open things. He opened up a school, but as soon as the money got shady, this shit was closed. Everything that he moved into, when the money got shady, it was closed. Let's be honest.
But let me ask you this.
But that's not the topic. I get you, Rodney Pierce. We're getting away from the topic.
But who closed it? Or who said the money was shady?
Whoever noticed that his money was shady.
You think about this. Like a lot of times.
So now you're trying to put it on the people, the city, the state.
No. I'm just asking the question. It's a question, right?
Well, the
Every
people gave
time
him the power.
the people gave him the power, right? But they also
And
can
they
take it
also
away.
take it away.
And so a
We're
lot
not
of times-
saying that's like
But
let's go back to the
this
drug
is where our
dealer.
problem at. This is where our problem at, because we allow them to show us what they want us to see, right?
Let me.
And so because of that, because I'm gonna tell you this, what's my man? What's the white guy? The big.
Do it.
No, the big preacher, big white guy preacher.
Jimmy something.
No, not Jimmy Sweat.
No.
Not that. We ain't going that far
Okay,
back.
the
My
one
man
in
now.
Texas.
Yeah. What's his name, man?
I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about. I can't
You
remember
had the
his name.
jet name thing.
Yeah.
Right, him.
Jeez.
But what about him?
Think
Can't
about
remember
this.
his name.
What,
You gonna tell me everything he's done been above board the whole time?
I'm gonna tell you, it is not as if
But
when
guess who?
when
guess
the
who-
floods came,
But guess who?
he
He closed it.
closed the church down. People can't come in here. Y'all can't come in here. Y'all can't sleep in here.
Yeah, but look at the people didn't say nothing about it. But when we grow something to the size that they start getting afraid, then they go and find the problems. They go and cause the issues. They go
Here's
and put
the
the stuff
thing.
out there.
If
And
you
we
already
don't-
know that,
but we don't. But
don't
listen,
put the problem in there. Why be shady when you know they looking for shade?
it don't,
You know they
many
looking
people-
for shade.
how many
Grow,
How many
grow.
people you know that haven't been shady but still went down for being shady?
Because I'm telling you, the fine tooth comb is the shade in there. Even with the young lady who was married, everybody said she was a great man, she blah, 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 blah. But they tripped her up with the
Who we talking
gift
about?
card.
Oh.
Here's the thing about that. Let me say this before you go, before you fight.
He'll talk about
Before you
that.
fight me, let me say this. Let me
Let
say this about that. Look at this everybody bust my ear. Let me say this.
Yeah,
Y'all said, "Well,
I'm gonna pour another one first.
let me say this about that though. If she had not allowed herself to get tripped up, used them for what they was used for, she
But-
wouldn't have been caught in.
But think
You
about this.
can't get caught if you don't do shady shit.
But think about this.
Touche.
Think about
You
this.
can't get caught if you don't do shady
But
shit.
think about this. Think about this. So, because we was around at the time, right?
Maybe I shouldn't have the tequila. The shit great get real.
Because-
Hold tight, hold tight.
So, because this is the thing. That's because they want you to think that, right? Because they went and investigated all this other stuff. They checked all her records for
Found
everything. Found nothing.
Right.
Had a whole boyfriend. Found nothing
Found
illegal,
nothing.
right? All they could say was gift cards. Did they tell you how many gift cards?
I don't remember.
They didn't. They never did.
This is what
It
I'm
could have
saying.
been one gift card, but because they said she did something,
Well,
let me ask you this.
from my understanding, it was multiple
It
gifts.
was multiple gift cards that she gave to her family, right? That she gave to her family.
Right.
But if her family met the criteria, why can't she give them to her family?
Because first of all, in your business, you know that your family, because it's your family, don't meet the criteria. If none of the family members can say, I do live in a shelter, I do
That
meet
wasn't what
the
the call was
criteria for these needs, I can get it. But when you give it to your family,
So,
but you get
let me
personal,
ask you a
you
question.
pick it,
Yeah,
and you
the
put
way
it,
it look.
let's be honest.
So if I,
You
so
want to
if I-
fight me,
if I
and I
tell
can take
you-
my glasses off and
listen,
fight back.
Time out. If I tell you she got permission before she did anything,
Yeah, but who did she
From
get
the
the
same
permission
person.
from?
hold up. From
The
same-
boyfriend that gave them to her.
No. The
Who she
boyfriend-
get it
the
from?
boyfriend didn't get
Who
it
she
from.
get them from?
You want me to say his name?
I want you to
You know
say
what?
the name if you
Well,
know
he ain't
that.
around no more.
I don't mean.
It was O'Malley.
I don't-
O'Malley the whole time. The only reason anything went down is because she crossed O'Malley. The same thing with Norton, right? Ed
Norton?
Norton, right? The same thing with Norton. Listen, I was in the streets when Norton was
Yeah,
in power. Hated that motherfucker,
right.
but he was good for our city.
Norris.
Norris,
Norris.
Ed Norris. He was good for the city.
Right.
Hated him.
Mally did
He
good
made
through the
Fuck O'Malley. O'Malley was a crook
Yeah,
from day one.
but what I'm saying is, when you
Tell me
know,
what happened
when
He
you,
did his foot too, but he did
Who?
his pussy, Norris.
yeah.
No, Norris was, yeah,
He
listen.
did foot too, but he
But-
did his
But
pussy.
this is
But
what I'm
he
saying,
had-
because we got to
hey,
get back to
he
why
had-
Jimmy is here.
He had your type.
Can I say this before we get back to
to
why, so we can get back to why Jimmy is here? I want to say this real quick.
Uh.
Here's the thing, black folks. When you get the seat, first of all, you black and you got the seat, you should be impressed. Secondly,
Should you?
the
No.
thing is, because they ain't finna give it to you just, well, sometimes they give it to you just because to show your
They're
face.
gonna give it
But
to the
what I'm
person
saying is
that's
to be,
able to control.
yeah, so, or they
That's
are
what I
able
was
to
trying to get
control.
to.
the people.
Listen,
That's
that they
why.
are able to control her
That's why
to
she
control
was
the
out.
people. But
That's why she never got to see
but
again.
this is what I'm saying.
That's why she never got to see
Fine
again.
tooth comb yourself.
That's why. And it's,
Fine
I'ma tell you
tooth comb
something.
yourself. Yo, she could have
I
had a
don't wanna go
fucking
too far.
receipt. Just
don't
listen,
wanna-
touche. She could have had a receipt from something she shouldn't have paid for.
Uh.
Don't give them anything.
I don't live here no more, but I don't want to go too far on y'all man, right?
You know what? I gotta get to some of the comments.
Y'all man. Yeah, y'all man, the one y'all got now.
That's right.
I don't want to go too far, right? But when he was just in his zone, the things that he was doing for those kids and the message that he was standing on was awesome.
When I first interviewed him, what was he?
He was a delegate, right?
A delegate, and
right.
He had a game plan.
He had a game plan. He had a game plan. He had a business.
You probably don't even know me at this point. I'm actually invited to community thing tomorrow.
He had it kind of busy right now.
He had a game plan. He had a vision.
Yeah.
And his main vision was for the kids. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was his main vision. Dog, everything the guy said.
And he did do one event where he let them clean up the Park Heights community, and they got stipends.
Yeah. So he had he had a vision for the kids, right?
We getting back to it, Rodney Pierce.
I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna leave y'all man.
Real quick, David, can you read those last two comments?
Well, Rodney said,
we sorry, Rodney. We all know
he said, when the ties are more important than a person bills, it's a problem. He also said,
100% agree.
it was thousands of dollars worth of cards. Shit. But she can't. I think the problem
It was $1,000. See, this is the
she
thing.
can't give them to her family.
This is the
You know what I
thing.
She
mean?
knew that she couldn't give him to her
That's what
family,
she does.
but she got too lax in connection
But this is the thing.
and empowerment and thought that she was one. You'll never be one of them. Why? Just because you're black, you're never gonna be one of them.
So
Take what your power is
I want you,
and
Rodney
maneuver
Pierce,
through
to
that.
go back to
Rodney
the
Pierce, go
fucking
back.
records.
Wait, but let me read
back.
my comment because
Okay,
he
go
about to dig.
Yeah.
Comment was, for lack of better words, I am a David had to tell me what this word is. I believe God is real, but the religion part is bullshit. Religion is about
Money.
capital
gains.
capitalizing your ignorance and fears to control
The masses.
There you go.
And that's all true. That's all true. Rodney, me and you gonna get back to that conversation because I want you to go public.
Because I don't want us to go too far from why Jimmy is here.
So, to get back to why Jimmy here. Transgender in sports, right? My problem.
Y'all views on transgender in sports. Let's get that.
My problem with it is that. So I watched the UFC fight, right? And
a couple years ago.
No, this was recent.
It's a new one.
It's a new one.
What?
The
transgender
right? No. When her face was all.
This is new.
Okay. This is new, right? So it's a woman now and a swimmer. We talked about.
And it's a swimmer.
That now when the swimmer was with the men, he was ranked in like 200.
He was at the bottom.
Yeah, he was at the bottom. He was real close to the bottom. Right? Jumped over to the women. Now all of a sudden he wants to be a woman, and now he's ranked number one.
Yeah, he was voted because I think him and another young lady were at the top, and she said that he won the award because it felt as though it was
transcending. It was good for the
story.
The story was strong.
And
that's no problem.
They had a comeback between the two.
Let me tell you why.
Everybody want to jump on a transgender story.
But
they want to look like they're behind a transgender because the LGBTQ plus community has been ruling a lot, which is crazy to me. How black people, y'all still at your level of ignorance on how you treat it, and you let these folks come along and just. I'm ready to take the stage.
It's the fact that everybody's making money from it. That's the money business.
And everybody is on that dollar right now.
You see, it's not just in sports. It's also in TV, movies.
Oh my God, commercials. It's everywhere.
Fashion.
Cartoons.
Like a lot of people in certain franchise movies they're losing their fan base because they're changing the narrative of these characters. Like characters like you said, growing up, you didn't
Robin is gay now.
Who?
Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Tim Drake. Robin.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan Kent in a different universe, Superman's son is gay. Yeah. Now there are a lot of gay characters out there that's well known, but you never see them really use them.
Yeah.
It's like they changed the ones that we grew up on.
The ones that were our heroes.
Right.
And
It's not it, like Aqualad. A lot of people might not know Aqualad's gay. There's a lot of superheroes out here that are gay.
Well, shoot, Bugs Bunny was, as they say, bi. And Bugs Bunny was the truth. He dressed up all the time.
But you know what's funny about that?
Yes, he
You
did.
know what I'm saying?
You
Yes,
know what's funny
he
about
did.
that?
All the time, man.
As a kid, we never thought about any of that.
Because
Because
you
it
was a
wasn't-
It did
kid.
not matter.
And
You're
But
enjoying the
now,
And it
funniness.
wasn't pushed to
it
you.
wasn't pushed. Now
It's
they're
pushed.
putting it on the TV. Like, I didn't need to know Robin was gay. If he was gay, so what?
He's still a
He's still
thug.
Robin.
He's still a
He
thug.
still kicked a whole
That's
lot
the
of
same
ass.
thing with Bert and Ernie.
As a
Like,
sidekick.
I still
Whoever
got my
needed to
ABC
know that.
show.
Whoever needed to know that. That's my thing is. So this,
Rubber ducky, you're the
I-
one. Oh,
You-
God.
You still enjoy
but this is
them.
the thing.
Right,
It's one of those
right.
things where, and listen, and this might be deeper than the conversation that we try to have, but it comes back to population control.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, they're killing us with our food. They're pushing the narratives so that they can control the amount of people that's in the world. And that's what it all comes down to. And that's what a lot of people, don't realize. And so the more of the narrative they push where it's okay and it's accepted, and it's basically telling us, now as a black person, you should feel a certain kind of way that you still don't have certain rights. You still don't have,
No, you
you
should.
still, yeah, you should.
Why
Absolutely,
shouldn't you?
you
Why
should.
shouldn't you,
You
David?
know why? I was talking to my brother last week. It was talking about, not to even bring him in conversation, but how racist Trump is, right?
Mhm.
People complain about racism, but will continue to watch sports, for instance. And there's blatant racism within that.
Mhm.
But they will watch it week
More
after week.
and allow them to
and
gain your
can't
money.
Let me ask you a question. You think Trump racist?
No.
I don't either.
Real quick.
But guess what?
Was he a Democrat?
I will say this.
What?
We pour those
Okay.
old True Grit joints up. Oh, you said that motherfucker was racist.
No.
Let
Can I
hear our guest comment?
Remember, I said,
Can I hear the guest comment? What did you say,
I said
Jim?
him and
Said he's a Democrat.
him
He was a Democrat.
and Russell Simmons
Uh-huh.
was like best friends. He was everything he was doing. He was with Mike Tyson and all of them. I said, I didn't never think he
You
was.
pouring the old footage.
Well,
All right, let me read
Now,
your
I didn't
comment.
believe nothing he was saying.
He said you gotta watch the South Park episode where Macho Man Randy Savage identified as a woman. It will show you how absorbed transgender issues in sports is. I never even heard about that episode.
Well, watch it. If you wouldn't believe it, you sit back and watch the entertainers, politicians. Like you go back and look at what's name, wife, George Bush Sr.
Mhm.
That's the man, yo. I put the joint up. No, yo, use this, you that, blah
I
blah.
will
Pull it
not
up.
onto that comment.
Pull it up.
Yo, read whatever Rodney Kids just commented, please.
Rodney said, "This is what I was saying. They have hijacked the original civil rights movement,
Yeah.
and this is why all these freedoms are blinding people." Rodney, I'm going to say that the civil rights movement should have been the human rights movement. Damn civil rights. It should be human rights.
Right.
Whatever this human got, this human has.
It should be.
That's it.
That's it.
Civil rights was the movement was BS
Yeah.
because it pigeonholes you to a small. Say it again, brother.
He's saying.
You know what, Jimmy is.
Boy, come on, man.
This boy right here.
Come on,
You're
man.
fired, Jimmy.
What he's saying is we wanted a seat at the table and cake was offered, but we only took a half a slice.
Yeah.
We didn't ask for the full thing.
If the cake is offered, give me
But-
the cake.
A lot of people don't know. Before Dr. King passed, he was speaking on having the whole cake,
Yep.
economic wealth.
Yeah.
And that's when they took him
That's
out.
when they took him out because he was now
Now you're going
overstepping
too
his
far.
boundaries. Now you're going too
Now you're
far.
overstepping your bounds.
That's it.
Same reason they took Pac out.
Overstepping your bounds.
Overstepping your boundaries. See, this is the thing people don't understand, and I was having a debate the other day about Pac, right? Because I'm a Pac fan, and I can't be a Biggie fan because I'm a Pac fan. I'm not saying that Pac and Biggie ain't make good music,
Right.
but when I listen to Pac music now, it still resonates to the message and the things that's going on now. Biggie song is just, oh damn, that was a shit back. You know what I mean? And didn't do nothing for me. So you, in my mind, you can't be a fan of both because you just couldn't.
Well, if you're a fan of music, you can be a fan of Biggie.
Nah,
He
not
was-
Pac and Biggie.
He was saying basically
What?
like Pac with Biggie, it was like fantasy.
Yep, that's all.
And with Pac, it was more like
In your face.
I'm walking the same path you walking.
Yeah.
I'm on a different level. Speaking of what's going on to this day.
So since I got the platform, I'm gonna use it.
And he used it.
And he used it. And he
So,
used it.
Rodman said, bro, as far as population control, the minorities are outbirthing the white by leaps and bounds.
She's right.
Now you know why the Republican agenda killed Roe versus Wade, and they are repeating.
Yeah. But that's another reason why. That's why Bill Gates is buying up so much farm.
Can I ask you this?
Please.
Go ahead.
When you abort a baby, where does that baby come?
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't following.
You can look up on your phone and see how many companies utilize the baby, the aborted fetus.
Yeah.
They chop it up, man, like it's a dope game. That's why they got rid of Roe versus Wade. I don't know what he talking about in reference to that.
Yeah.
I hear what he's saying, but no. They're putting baby fetuses in our food.
Oh my God.
So to
Somebody else said that.
stop,
Taco
to
Bell.
stop that. Oh, all fast food.
Yeah.
To
I heard that
stop
about
that.
Taco Bell.
That's why they stopped Roe versus Wade. And for real, the Roe versus Wade, the chick that started it, she lied. Why, that's not an uproar.
And that was another thing for me. Why wasn't her story?
Why didn't the women come and combat her? Because she lied against y'all. She made y'all look
And you
foolish.
know, normally I fall back from certain controversial things because of the show, and I don't want to be like
Yeah.
plugger, unplug her. But when that came up, that was the issue for me.
Yeah.
That was the issue for me. And then right behind that, the little girl was raped and impregnated, and she was 10
Mhm.
in Cleveland.
But that continues to happen.
And they wouldn't allow her to have abortion.
Yeah.
The parents took her out of state. They said when the parents come back home.
And why they wouldn't allow that? Because we had a conversation. Why didn't they allow that? Because
What?
women abused it. That's why.
That's why. Because to me, women begin to use, and I have to be honest, ladies, I gotta say what it is. Because y'all know me, my primary borderline is straight talk. To me, it became a contraceptive.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and do this.
Exactly.
Tell them this. I can get that abortion money. I can do this, or I can do what I want, get rid of the baby, and keep the party going.
That's it.
Women start using abortion as a contraceptive versus, oh my God, just happened to me. And now, and that's what made me bring up the topic, because I said this little girl, 10 years old, like, ladies, how the fuck y'all feel? Do y'all not feel a fucking shame for this kid?
Stay right there. Because as much as shame they should feel about that, they should feel the same shame of pushing the transgender movement. And now y'all not even considered women no more. You're a birthing person.
Ain't that some shit?
If you're not that, they call you a fish. But again, a post I put up about 2 months ago, women
Well, you know,
fighting against women.
when you say certain things, they block you after a while.
Did the war.
Yeah.
I had a nice comment to my homeboy post today about what's the dude that left? Don Lemon.
Oh,
I had a nice little comment on that. Boom.
I be scared to reply. I be scared to reply to Dave shit.
Because they put you on the watch.
You already know. Oh, you
You
know.
know.
We started
But
the
listen.
show. I said the
So-
views
so-
and the
Since you
opinion.
brought up
Now
Don
this
Lemon,
motherfucker is
Since
not
you brought up Don Lemon, let's be
real.
real. And like, fuck Don Lemon, yo. It wasn't
He
until
like that. But go ahead.
Wait a minute, y'all move right
It
past
wasn't-
the Trump thing.
it wasn't until
Y'all move
he
right
got
past the
smacked
Trump.
Ferguson that he even started acting black again. You understand what I'm saying? So it only became okay to be black once he realized, okay, they know I'm black too. You understand what I'm saying? So now I'm not riding for him.
I want to ride for him. Then
You
I ain't riding for
understand?
him.
Yeah, no, y'all, 'cause you was out there.
He want to
You
get
was
on
a
that.
part of the problem.
He on that pedophile list too.
Oh, well, see, I don't know nothing about that.
Yes, sir.
Now, what? I'm sorry. You said go back to the Trump. You said go back to the Trump.
We gotta watch. Yeah, I was just saying how the Trump thing kind of got overruled real fast.
Yeah, because see, at some point you get tired of talking about Trump. Trump is Trump. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this. I did not vote for Trump. I probably will never vote for Trump.
Because
But when I grow up, hold up. So I'm gonna tell you, I'd rather do this, right? I'm gonna tell you this. But I want to be like Trump when I grow up. Ain't nobody ever done it better.
Come on, man.
When you sit back and you look at it, he told us what he was going to do, went out there and did it, told us to kiss his ass, and we still chasing behind him, kissing his ass. Who's ever done it better than Trump? Trump is who everybody wished they was.
Glad you said that.
Everybody wished.
But I remember an episode of Tru Grit.
I'm about to get your name.
Say it again. Talk to me.
I'm about to get your name tatted on my phone.
I remember an episode of Tru Grit
Yes.
where I was live in the studio.
Yes.
And Dave and I was saying why we don't vote. It
Yeah.
came up before the show. And I kind of felt bad. Because I was like, this nigga got the floor. I'm going to like it. But when we got there, got the live on, you went against us about voting.
No, and I'm always going to get you about voting. And I told you why.
You went against
Because
us. Let me
always go.
finish, nigga.
Please finish.
Yeah, I'm
Please
always
You
finish.
went against us.
Yeah.
always
Please
go.
finish.
You went against us about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
We both agree. And I always say this. Me and Dave very rarely agree on shit because he dig too deep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to dig that deep because I like for my platform to remain growing. I dig for it to be up here, but not to put it out here. You got to learn that, baby.
I understand
But-
because cut you off, but the kind of person he is what do you call it? He's a critical thinker.
Again, that's what
He's a critical thinker that,
Uh-huh.
like, when there's a rock, you will just look at the rock, but
Right.
he's looking what's underneath.
And
it.
that's the great thing about
Come
having
on, my God.
Dave
This guy.
on your
How old are you,
team.
man?
25.
Yes, sir.
I can tell Dave,
Yes, sir.
Dave, this, and that. But we got a show Monday. I can tell him this shit on Sunday. Dave coming in here with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
Everything
Everybody
I
knows.
said. So like I said, I might not be the person who did all of that, but I'm going to keep that person on my team. Dave is somebody to have on your team. And when we went in on that Trump thing, you had to. I don't give a fuck who you are,
Right.
who rushed the Capitol. There's a lot of things I don't care about. But I got to admit, you now have admitted, even though you went against us first beginning,
I'm still
we
against
had
it,
to.
but
You gonna talk
Now you want to tattoo and shit.
Now you want that too and shit.
Right
But
here,
Dave, wasn't a year or two ago,
Come on,
I
man.
still feel the same.
a year or two ago,
I still feel the same.
you wasn't on our page.
I
And
still
Dave
feel
and
the
I
same.
said, yeah, you see the toupee, you see the white man. But listen to what he got to say. See, black folks have a tendency, like you said in the beginning of the show, to just see things.
Yeah.
This man gave you the answer to everything. Every president said, because once a term, we can get people off of the
Agenda.
off of the jail. What is the thing? When they get people out of jail, who
Get the shit.
give you the pass,
Pardon.
the pardon.
Pardon.
Trump said that ain't true. Watch this. And the motherfucker went down the list. Pick who the fuck you want? Yo, you pick Lil Wayne. I mean, like,
And Kodak Black, right?
Yeah.
like, come on. And that was his. So I know a lot of people look at the white man and say this, and that. You can't take from him. Like the things I say about
And that's
Vincent.
that's
You
where I'm at
can't
now.
take from him
That's
the
where I'm
business mind and the truth he told
Hold up, time out.
about the
The
presidency.
business mind is all a lie. Let's just
All right.
that nigga,
Well,
that
listen.
nigga broke like us.
What I'm just saying.
He
What I'm
just-
saying
he
is,
just
the
got-
black folks can learn to camouflage if they could
Yeah,
and
but
dig
we
it in the
got-
background in a better file
We
cabinet
would-
than
we
they
be
do.
in jail.
That's what I'm saying.
We be in
I don't know how much money he got.
We be
But
in
what
jail.
I'm saying is, he did not. If he didn't give you nothing else, he gave you that. And he gave you the truth about presidency and all the bullshit they talk. So yeah, we had the poor righteous teachers with the black president. But the white guy came in, this bitch was like, pull the blanket off, show him all this shit. You want all this shit? They can do all this shit. You think I gotta talk, right? Somebody gotta write my speech? Fuck no, I'm gonna get up here and say, I don't like it. He was the most downright to the point
My
in
man
his
said
ass.
grab by the pussy.
No, that's the thing he said was right. But he
But-
showed
and that's my thing.
truth.
Why I said,
That's
so
where I'm at.
here's the
So
hit.
when I
They
say
ridiculed him for saying grab him by the pussy, right? But then they push for a man to get a pussy, and that's okay. Think about that. Think about that, man.
What
But that's
did
the thing.
Rodney Peter say?
like I
I'm all
said,
looking up Dawn Lemon child abuse story and shit.
I'm real.
Sorry,
Shit.
sorry.
I'm real enough to say
I
everything
appreciate that, bro.
everything you say.
I appreciate you saying
He did.
2 years later, but you telling us, and we appreciate it.
Everything. I'm
Dave, this nigga
I
said get him a
still-
tattoo.
That
You would get a
right?
tattoo gun in the building.
Right.
Because I'm going to remember today,
Be like,
Yeah, boy.
but listen, this is the
because he was
thing.
against us that
I
way.
will always be against it because he also brings a lot of bullshit with him. The world became a worse place under Trump too. You gotta say that. You have to say that.
Tell me all the worst
Again,
things that came.
We had this conversation.
I don't think
and
it
I
just became
can't
worse. I think he
blame
just
you
pulled the blanket
or
off.
my man
Let you
here
see
for
it.
my actions. I don't give a fuck what y'all say
Uh-huh.
or do, but I cannot then say I did what I did because of your speech. Because of what you
Oh no,
said.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
no, I'm not.
No.
But that's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is just as far as the racial divide goes in the world, right?
Mhm.
Now,
You said
I'm
he
also
added to
against. He added to it, absolutely.
I have to say this. I think what he
showed you
did
what it was.
was showed us what it was. He showed us how pull the blanket off. If a motherfucker listen, let me finish. I see the bird cage. I see the no fly zone. 9/11. This was a no fly zone, but the plane got through. You seen all of this, and we all puzzled. Why? How these people are just terrorists? You can't go past the bird cage at the Capitol. You can't. Because we were always told you can't. He just pulled the blanket off and was like, why can't you?
Showed
They're
you
not
what it
always
is.
there. That's
What?
what people don't know.
I don't give a
They're not always
freaking heck.
Always with.
They not
The
always
bird cage.
there.
And let me say this to you, Touche.
They put 'em
It's
up.
not always. Listen, let me Dave, let me finish. Let me say that. He said actual bird cage. It's not always. But can I say this? It's not always there. That's just like the stove ain't always on, but you know the bitch is hot at all times.
But
You got
if
caution.
it's not
Let me
on,
finish.
if it's not on, it's not hot.
But you know that's fire. You look at it and you know it's fire. I don't know when my mother gonna turn this knob, but this bitch liable to burn me when she turn it off. You knew that, right? Whether it was on or off.
You was protected.
So no, the bird
But it
cage wasn't
wasn't-
always there. It wasn't always there, but you knew
They
that.
showed you they walked them in. They showed you that.
That's what I'm
Fight
saying.
that.
I'm not saying
I'm
that.
not fighting none of that. That's the thing.
But-
What I'm saying is, listen,
Mhm.
and you got to be real when you say this shit.
Talk to.
Look,
Yo,
let me.
that motherfucker was.
But
But just as much as y'all say he was good, he was bad. Now, where I'm admitting that
Thomas
is,
J. makes speech to kill around.
what I'm
The Bible
saying
come
is,
with a watch. Get
I
yourself one.
cannot say he didn't do everything he said he was going to do. That's where I'm at with it. Everything he said he was going to do, he did it. In our fucking face, and could nobody stop him, and they still went.
What I'm saying is your comment for saying he made it worse. I gotta say he didn't make it worse. He pulled the blanket off and showed people you actually can do this shit. You actually can do this. You want to run up in there? You can run up in there. You think that the president got to be here for the inaugural new president and we got to exchange hands? Fuck no, watch me get in the plane and roll out. He just showed you what it really was. No, the birthday ain't here all the time, and when it's not here, do what the fuck you want. He just showed you what it was. I don't think he made it work.
He showed who that?
Whomever,
The world.
whoever watched it.
He ain't show whomever.
The world.
If you was that, if you was there and saw it and did it,
If
you know.
it was us, we'd be dead.
What I'm saying was, if you were there,
If it was
If you
us,
were-
we'd be dead, right?
no. Here's the thing: we wouldn't be there because we had already, in our minds, been designed to know better. Like you
we'd
just
be
said,
dead.
because we'll be dead.
We'd
But
be dead.
here's the thing: we don't know if we were there
You
and we
know
rushed
it
the
was
Capitol.
Black
What was
State.
my hand?
But the problem is, I think with that, because you have that mentality, you only want to give it a fight. You just quick and
Now
forward.
that's the difference with black people. Real quick, let me read
Quick
take
and
on
forward,
comment.
man.
He said the world didn't become worse. It's always been this way.
It just
Trump-
shows you what it is.
He said Trump just gave them the courage to come out of hiding. He exposed the people in power hiding in the shadows. That's exactly what it is.
Now that's the
Tavon,
That's the part right there that I'll agree. That's what I.
Let me put
But that's the
heart.
part I will agree with, and that's why I said I can't sit here no longer and say he ain't do everything he said he was gonna do. He did. When we were talking about
I think he made it worse. He just showed you like
when we was talking about voting for him, Trump and shit, he ain't showed me nothing that made me want to vote for him.
So
Did you know?
First of all, look up all the
Wait a
executive
minute.
orders.
We cannot go to David Phone because David Phone will get.
Look at all the executive orders that he passed, yo. Look at all the executive orders that he passed, and look at all the executive orders that Biden came in and tried to smash. Check them out.
Let's be
It's
honest.
in the proof's in the pudding.
Let's be honest about it.
You should tell people, my guy, come on board. MAGA.
I wish the fuck you would. I wish the hell you would. That was
MAGA.
Did you get any of those comments, or I need to go over here and get it? Because I don't want to miss
that
people.
will never happen. Will never happen.
Robbie Pierce said, what about the Central Park 5? Look at his comment, criminal behavior. He is professional thief and
Exactly. And that's
why.
Fluffy Butterfly 46
I
said
got a
Rodney Pierce. Exactly, Rodney Pierce came back.
And that's where I'm at.
Let me finish. Rodney Pierce said, and he just confirmed what blacks have been saying about America with all these
You
K's.
sure did.
It's racist.
You sure did.
That's exactly what
Central
I'm
Park 5.
So this is the thing. Y'all feel like you can't have one without the other. And I'm saying you absolutely have one without the other. Did he do everything he said he was going to do?
In the Central Park
Did
5.
he do all of that? Yes. But at the same time, he did a whole bunch
If a
of
black
I didn't say that you can't have
If a black woman was raped in Central Park and we found out there was 5 white guys, they caught them, this, that, the other, we are going to have the same affirmation that Trump had. Hang them, do this, do that, because y'all got them. Point blank. Ain't about.
So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to judge on that because
I'm gonna read this comment.
But that goes back to my original statement. The media shows you what they want you to believe, and so at the time he said what he said because the media said these was the guy.
Yeah, but if the, I don't
Right.
say-
All right, so let me read this comment so we can get back
I
to Jimmy
don't
because he is
wanna-
our guest.
Yeah.
Real quick, Tavon Harley over on Facebook said Trump gave a shit ton of money to HBCUs.
Say it again.
HBCUs too, but nobody talked about that.
Say it again.
Look up how much money.
Obama didn't.
Look up how much money he get.
Obama did.
Or the money that was already there.
Yeah,
He just-
Obama
That's what it
did.
is. It was Obama money that he approved to go.
Man, please.
No, it was money already.
But it was money.
Look at the executive orders is what I'm saying to you. Under HBCU, if that's the case. And truth be told, we had this conversation on Tru Grit 3 years ago. HBCUs are started by Jews. So is it really black?
Absolutely.
Is it really black?
We had that conversation.
I'm just saying.
Fraternities agree.
That's for you, bro. Go back and say that.
255 million annual funds for historically black colleges and universities, and he increased funding for the federal Pell Grant program
Every year.
Guiding the Future.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Your so-called first black president didn't do that.
How much they get?
What, per person?
No.
No.
How much did they get?
You talking about HBCU funding?
Shit is relative.
No. That's what he said.
That's what he proved, but you saying how much did they get?
There's always a difference.
Hold on. I didn't even worry about that.
Smoking
There is a difference. Watch this.
It's always a difference.
But what did Obama give?
I don't know.
What did Bush give? What did Clinton give besides playing the sax?
But let me ask you this.
And
Let
low
me ask you
gas.
this. Let me ask you this.
Talk to
In the
me.
bed, in the bed.
You know what I'm saying? They got some job.
You talking about Clinton?
Yes. Just saying, man. You can't take away what the brother did, whether you like it. It's not about liking somebody.
So
Hey, I've been saying that.
the
Hey,
bill,
I've been saying the same thing today since I said back then. Am I lying?
Trump bill restores 255 million annual funds that lapsed September the 30th after Congress failed. Congress failed to renew it, facing an end to the funding. Some schools and started planning for deep cuts, with some telling staff their jobs or programs will be eliminated. But lawmakers in the Senate recently reached.
I'm gonna say this.
They reached the deal. Let me finish.
Go
They
ahead.
reached the deal to save the funding. Their compromise added an amendment that will simplify the free application for federal
And who
aid
tried to
or
stop it?
FAFSA, the form that college students will fill out to determine their eligibility. So,
Who tried to stop it?
Congress.
And who was trying to push January 6th? Congress. This conversation over, man.
But it's the Republicans. They was in control, right?
Are you serious?
They weren't in control.
Look at it. So today, Jimmy came in.
Brother. Rhino. What's a rhino?
Because we can get the fighting in
It's a
here.
rhino.
Jimmy. I don't want to get crazy. I told you, Jimmy, when it
It's right
started.
there in front of
I don't even hear them. Jimmy, look at me, baby. Focus on me. I told you when it started that the shit would get real, right? You got to be willing
it's
to get
interesting
real.
because it's a different perspective from both sides.
Right, and that's the great thing I have to say about
And we
this
gonna still
thing.
drink together after this shit over.
Come on, man. All right. Bam. Why y'all playing?
I don't know.
You like outside.
Never know what to do. But here's the thing. That's one thing I love about the show, and that's something that you'll learn, with your podcast. You got to keep it real, and you got to keep everybody who is going to be totally different and willing to tell you, Jimmy, no, that shit ain't right. On your show.
I always have on my podcast, I have a different perspective. I more so cater to the fans' perspective.
Okay.
Like with the Lamar Jackson situation.
Okay.
See, I was like Touche.
Uh-huh.
I was supporting Lamar Jackson since freshman year in college.
Okay. Well, you go way back.
But then my agent started to tell me stuff. And I'm the type of person I like to do my research. And I was watching games. And people say, well, Lamar Jackson needs to be paid. Well, since 2019, what has he done? Ooh. A lot of people don't talk about, he got 2 Pro Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was gifted. He was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That year that he got the Pro Bowl vote, Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. So you tell me this, what's better? Winning one playoff game or getting to the big dance? And mind you, Lamar Jackson was healthy during that time, and Joe Burrow didn't finish his first year, wrecked his whole knee. He could barely walk.
Mm-hmm.
Came back and led his team to the Super Bowl and lost by 3 points against the number 1 defense with Aaron Donald.
With an injured leg.
With the injured leg. And was sacked the most by any quarterback in NFL history in the postseason and in regular season.
So the man that you've been following since college, how do you feel?
He needs to go.
There you go. I just the point that stand firm on your shit. Don't have people sitting around at the table with you. And they're gonna be like, well, yeah, because the viewers think. Because at the end of the day, the viewers gonna know who you are, and you got to keep it real with them. I was told this by Touche and Tia when I first started talk radio. Never tell a lie or over exaggerate, because people will get it on air and pull your card and tell you, no, it's this. And everybody that come behind me, I share the same thing with, like my own studio. I never thought I would do this, but I am. Because I keep it real. And followers still follow me from when I first started talk radio. Keep it real regardless. Because the fans, they're going to be there because you keep it real.
And it's crazy because when you look on ESPN and Undisputed and those sports talk shows, you don't hear Ravens fans talk. You hear the outside talk. Look at what we see now. We are a young franchise. So we're about 26 years old. We have 2 Super Bowl rings. And none of our quarterbacks are Pro Bowls or All Pro or Pro Bowls. The best quarterback we ever had was a guy that couldn't really get it done in the regular season. But best believe he put on his cape and his S on his chest, and he led us to the promised land. One of the very few quarterbacks to go 11-0, meaning 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The only other quarterback to do that was Nick Foles and Joe Montana.
I'm going to tell you this one thing. I'm not a big football fan, but you know your shit. Because I'm sitting here because I'm telling you, if you was wrong,
these brothers
cocky over this motherfucker.
I was waiting for him to finish because I was going to tell you, brother.
He on his shit. Because Cocky would have jumped in there on the football team.
On the outside, they listen to the hit song.
Right,
You
right.
gotta listen to the whole album.
You gotta listen to the whole
You
album.
gotta listen to the whole album.
You can't listen
Listen to the whole
to
album.
the hit song and think this person is the shit. You gotta listen to the
Exactly.
whole album and see
Exactly.
this bitch ain't that talented.
That's it.
But
You gotta hear the whole
My
thing.
Let me tell you what's funny about
So I was
that,
just saying that to say, as far as
that's how
the
life is.
podcast,
Mhm.
always keep it real. Because if the fans gonna be there, they gonna follow you because of the truth, not because you pacify them and you want to give them what they want or stay on their line.
Mhm.
Sometimes you gotta step outside the box because that Roe versus Wade thing was something I was not willing to touch
Mhm.
until that young lady. And I called Dave like, Dave, these bitches been using it as a contraceptive, and now this child
Mhm.
has been raped, and because of she found out, held it for the next day. By the third day, she was too late to get an abortion. So this baby got to keep a baby at 10 years old, and she been molested and raped.
And I never understood.
And that's when I
I
brought it
never
up.
understood. Like a lot of the times, they tell you can't, or a lot of the women that they can't get rid of their babies because a lot of them don't want to keep it because that reminds them of the predator that attacked them.
Mhm.
And I find that hard because every day you want to love that child, but you keep remember such and such did this to you, and sometimes they even hit home different. You gotta see that relative every day.
Yeah.
A lot of families don't take care of that responsibility, and that's the one thing in the black community as well. We don't hold each other accountable for when we make mistakes,
Mhm.
and that's the issue.
And that's
Big
why
issue.
I brought up the fact that you got to be honest. These women used it as a contraceptive more than the lesson that they were going to get, or these like this young lady, this little girl, this baby
Mhm.
was going to have to endure. She's
Mhm.
10. Like, even, no matter what the situation was, is her body even ready to carry it? She don't even have the option because so many women has dragged the shit like a contraceptive, or to get over on a nigga for the dollar. The option has
But
been was
understand,
taken
this
away
has
from
been
her.
going on. This same thing has been going on in the Amish community.
No, I'm not saying. Here's the thing,
So,
Touche.
yeah, because
I'm a
they-
black
because-
woman, so I'm speaking black women what I see, and I gotta be honest. When somebody thinks about abortion, bitch, what again? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you that's what I say. So what I'm gonna speak on, as my mentor who told me keep it real at all times, I'm gonna tell a bitch, you crazy. What the fuck is this again?
Yeah.
So when the child came up, David kept asking me, "We're gonna talk about it." No, Dave, I don't want all that shit. I don't want to have it on the show. But when that thing came up about that baby, I called Dave. It's time. It's time we hitting the shit today. And I'm just saying all that to say, always be ready
Mhm.
to keep it real, and always keep a fucking loaded gun.
Yeah.
I have multiple.
Keep a loaded
I
gun.
have multiple loaded guns.
There you
because
go. There you go.
I like when people give me criticism because that makes me better.
Better.
It makes me better. Like somebody, like I called my cousin my Asian because he always keep me on my toes.
Mhm.
He'll call me whenever time of day, be like, "Yeah, right there, go get it." Like, all right, what I need to do, research just like him, look under the rock just like him, and it's just like with the transgender in sports. I was just like you. I didn't want to touch it because I felt as though I felt both sides.
I wanted to touch it, but at the time David wasn't here,
Yeah.
and I knew what I needed. I'm not going to the gunfight with a knife, so to speak.
Yeah.
I needed the gun cocked and loaded. So when the shit came up that we was gonna do this, oh, I'm ready, because I already know my gun is loaded.
Mhm.
I'm ready, and I was ready for this because for me, since it started, what has been a couple of years now, I have been wondering how is this okay?
But it's only one side.
It's a couple of years in our face, but
Yeah,
it's
but
been
it's
prior to.
But it's been going on.
Indeed.
It's been going on.
Yeah.
I
But-
told you,
so
she
yeah,
got-
I thought
she got a
process-
trans-
So yeah, so to have that idea to look at the rock and not only see a rock. Like me, I do 1,000,001 things.
Yeah.
David got a little more computer downtime than me. So I know I'm gonna see the rock, but it's some shady shit. But fuck, I can't. Dave, check this rock out, yo, and I'm gonna hit you back. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say, yo, see if we can get the rock in the building because I'm just saying it's good for us podcasting. What we talked about, it's good to have those people around, and they also know we're gonna get this bitch on this live and she finna tear it up and give it the business. Always make sure your team is good. You don't have a team just because y'all cool. or you don't make a podcast team because y'all known each other so long, or you've been to school well and you know that they're knowledgeable. You gotta have a team
That's
with you
challenge you.
in podcast that's going to challenge everything. And even though because I can challenge anybody with this mouth I have, but you gotta have the information. And my team brings the information. Touche gonna bring. Oh, we got somebody to interview for that. They gonna say, look up this, da. You know what I'm saying? So you wanna always. I'm just on a personal you and I about podcasting. That's something you wanna have. You wanna have your team that's locked and loaded. Cause I can do this all day.
Yeah.
But if I don't got the team that's gonna say, oh, cause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we gonna bring 10 in the building.
Yeah.
It don't work. It ain't gonna work with us.
See, me, I per se don't have a team like you do, but I have a circle.
Okay.
So those guys entwine with me. Like Touche hit me up and be like, yo, I love what you was saying. It was good, but that right there, I need you to hit that. My agent tell the same thing. My friends, look, I'll be on the phone to like the next day with them because it's a battle. It's 2 Ravens fans and about 28,000 Commander fans. And so it goes back. It goes back even further. Like a lot of people don't know that Baltimore got a team from the Canadian League because Washington was trying to buy our fans, and they wouldn't allow us to get a team. So it took us to go outside to win championships for us to actually get a team. Like I went to the stadium. It said they got about 5 championships. That is a lot. They got 3. They haven't won since the salary cap started. That was 1994.
And all of that knowledge, like I said, comes in because you say you don't have a team, but you have a circle. You gotta keep good people in your circle. Right. You gotta keep movers and shakers in your circle. You can't have people around you.
I don't got no yes.
That you ain't going to elevate from. Because I mean, Touche came up here for one thing one day, pick up an order. He came up here for something. This fucker in here like, nope, because I don't see you on Instagram. Your camera needs to be adjusted. You need to do this. You need to put this on the wall. And I'm like, Touche, like. Slow up. But at the end of the day, it was all for my good. But when I told everybody else what's being changed, they're like, well, why? Because my mentor said. And he got me from just being a, hello, good morning, WMSK online radio to like he literally pushed me. I had issues with the producer and he was like, no, she can do it. And I was like, no. Are you crazy? Hold on, Touche, that's too much. I'm going to just go ahead and give her what she want me to do. And he was like, no, you already doing it. You already know the guest. Do it yourself. And before I know it, I was leading the show, producing the show, working the engineering board, doing everything. So I'm just saying all that to say, keep a good team. Keep a good team. And your viewers going to be who they are. Rodney Pierce, solid as a rock. Love him. I'm telling you, when the teenage shows come on the weekend, he on there saying shit to them. Like, I love him. I love him. Love him to death. Like, you just got to keep a good team. And that was way off, but I wanted to get that out about podcasting. And when we came up with this topic, I already knew that guns was low. I already knew Touche was bringing in what he needed to bring in. This motherfucker came with more than just a gun. This whole arsenal. What did you say in the Greek text?
But like we did today.
He was ready.
We had 5 different conversations. We just talked about 5 different topics.
Yeah.
And that's just how.
And we have went.
Way over.
17 minutes over the time.
Yeah,
but the thing, right? But the thing is about that, and doing what you do best is that when you own the place, when your name up there, you can run a wall of fucking time you want. I can tell Dave, go to the bathroom. We're gonna be right here when you come back. And we can keep it going.
Kind of stay with it. Make a move.
Apparently, Sukiana love it.
Yeah.
She love it.
Is that the girl with Diddy?
No, not the
Okay, because there's a girl with Diddy who says she loves it.
Yeah, her too. But Sukiana, what's her name?
I'll be back.
Go ahead, Dave. Make sure you watch the doors because I don't want you to, do anything. But yeah, there you go. Just leave it there till you come back. But back to our
original topic.
So
all right. Let's get to that.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I know you want to go. Can we go?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm in the right place I want to be.
So let's look at it like this. At what level is it not okay? Should they allow this at the high school level? Because at the high school level, as a teenager,
It's so
teenage boy,
touchy.
as a teenage boy developing and a female girl developing, it's so opposite. You understand what I'm saying?
This is my thing with that touche that make it so tough. Your hormone levels, testosterone levels, blood levels, as a male child, baby,
Yeah.
are different than a female baby.
Mm-hmm.
So these things need to be determined well on, even if it's okay. I think if anything, they need to do a transgender league. Now that's different, but I don't think the men should be pushed over
It's
to the
not enough,
ladies. I don't.
no. It's
I-
not enough.
I don't know.
I don't think they would combat that.
No, they never gonna. I'm just saying that's the only way I can see it
Yeah.
being fair.
Like if by you saying that, they would be like, well, I feel as though I'm being discriminate by putting me in the league with
Just by
just my people.
But my thing is, you want your own bathroom. You want your own bathroom.
well, not no
You
more.
want your. You want,
Transgender is it's
Can
just
go
neutral,
anywhere.
so you can go in any bathroom.
but what I'm saying is bathrooms now are broken down
Gender
to. This is a gender neutral one. This is a family bathroom. This is men. This is women. So tell me when you want to be categorized.
In 2 years, you gonna
When
see,
does it work for you?
in 2 years you will not see a man or a female.
It'll just say
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It'll say bathroom.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
see, I'm a
until
person that don't go to the
somebody-
bathroom when I'm not
Until
home.
somebody get R. Kelly in the bathroom.
And that's not going to be enough.
Right.
Until a white woman and her child get R. Kelly in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Just like the swimmer said, she said we was in here changing, and the male transgender walked in,
Hmm.
and they felt uncomfortable
Yeah.
because he was basically taking off his trousers in front of them.
Right, and now just imagine being that. He just recognized that it's not surgically there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just like they taking off his clothes, now he allowed to take off his clothes.
Yeah.
Do I want to see his penis, but his hormone medicine gave him breath in my face? Do I have to?
Yes. But think about it, because in high school, most of them don't. Most parents are not paying for that, unless you're the weights. Most parents are not paying for that
Actual surgery.
actual
Let's
surgery
be honest.
in high school. So a lot of these people get through high school and they have the surgery later on in life.
Hmm.
But are you saying that you want this transgender to now be in the same restroom with my daughter, and I'm supposed to be okay with it
Yeah,
and changing it in the same place?
that's what they're saying.
I'm not okay with that.
And the thing is, like going back to the original question, should they start in high school? Even in high school, I'm not okay with that.
I'm not okay with it.
Because the thing is, now we teaching them that a man come along and take off his stuff is okay because you don't know if he recognizes a female or male, but that could be a predator getting ready to.
Well, that's like
So assault your child.
it's
But she don't know when to take it as a predator or when to take him as.
We gotta say Caucasian man, or we can say white man.
I don't know
it's
if
a
they
white,
can
it's,
say
a,
white man.
it's a white man on the internet, right? Yeah, give me a no. It's a white man on Instagram.
Do you need enough water, Tim?
TikTok, on TikTok right now.
We're moving
That is-
before I go past here. Let me get Rodney Pierce comment. He said the only place it should be allowed is in the Pee Wee leagues up to a
Oh
certain
yeah,
age.
yeah. I don't care
and
about
then
that. I got
keep
you
it
on my
separate.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause a lot. We
Because the Pee Wee leagues, they ain't never
Yeah, yeah.
girls out there.
You've always seen that.
Yeah,
Softball and all of that.
But it's pushed.
It's never been pushed as yeah, it's never been
She
pushed. as
come out there and earn her
changed.
spot.
Yeah, she got to earn her spot just like everybody else.
Mm.
But like one of the things that I had the biggest problems with, like right now, and I think that I'm not sure if the LGBTQ plus community is fighting this or not, but there's a man on the internet right now that he looked like he in his 60s, dog, and he's literally dressed up like a 6-year-old. And he says that's who he identifies as. He's playing with doll babies. He has a doll house, and he has all of this stuff going on. And he's identifying as a 6-year-old girl.
Well,
What's wrong with that?
isn't
That's
that
a
wrong?
lot wrong with it. Because if he identifies as a 6-year-old girl, means that he can be in a relationship with another 6-year-old girl as a 60-year-old man being in a relationship because he identifies
This
as a
is-
6-year-old girl If he identifies, then he can be in a relationship. Then that's pedophilia at its finest.
It's not pedophilia. It's minor attracted person. Please get your political views correct, sir.
Let me
Thank you
read
very
this.
much.
Let me read this comment I just jumped back to. Tavon Harley on Facebook said males have more testosterone, more muscle mass, and denser bones than females. There are always exceptions to any rule, but as a whole, men with dominant women in physical situations.
Dominate, yeah.
Men will always dominate women.
It's
That's what I-
2023.
the conversation I
and
had.
he's sexist.
Yeah. The conversation
That's
I
what,
had.
that's what the Bible says.
Look,
That's the Bible says.
the conversation I had earlier today was if you have
They're going there a little bit more
185
for me, Dave.
if you have a 185-pound man
Uh-huh.
and a 185-pound woman, they are not the same.
Yeah,
No.
They are nowhere near the same.
The way a
And
woman
so why would
even
you allow them to compete
in the
at
same
the
league.
same level? Why?
I don't.
Who's pushing it?
Well,
I don't care who pushing
it
it.
don't
It
matter.
do matter.
So we just saying, take it off the table. Who's pushing it? We just saying, why do you think these people even allowing it? That's what our question.
Why are they allowed? Because,
Why are they allowed?
Because what's good is bad and what's bad is good.
Mm-hmm.
So if even through our adolescence to adulthood, the stuff that was bad they try to make good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So present day, the things that are bad are evidently not good, but they're pushing it. Why? It's a satanic work. That's Satanism at its best.
Real quick, let me show Jimmy this. Dave, how do you feel about
No.
people when they get married and they get a marriage certificate? I just want you to.
Why you go there? No.
Go ahead. And I just want him to show Jimmy.
Oh, man, Jay. Okay. I'm going to say this to you, brother.
Don't
Directly to you, okay? You can listen to me or not, but I'm here to tell you. If you are a productive man and you're making things shake and move, don't get no marriage license, B.
Because
And you will just keep
it
going.
impacts you to the state guidelines and you won't win. You like a corner. 99.9% you won't win, man.
Well, she take everything you got.
Everything.
But what if he want to be? He know they're gonna be together forever. Divorce is not an option.
Then he should not let society dictate
Whether
whether if his love is real or not. That's all it is.
because that's what they
So
doing.
what do you feel about the people that have a problem with the word prenup?
That's some bullshit too.
I think people who bring up the word prenup is people who going in like, look, I love you, I fuck with you, but I don't trust you. So just in case,
Sure.
boy, you gonna sign that.
But it's I agree with her, but it's some bullshit because if you gotta do that, then why you doing it?
So why are we getting married?
So why? But see, here's the hit.
People who get
Once
married
you
with
get
a
that
prenup, I think
state
it's
license, all of that come into play. Now, if you and your lady say, okay, I got this, she has this, we're gonna put this together, y'all have a little contract, whatever you wanna do, boom, you good.
But the
Soon
reason
as
it
you
doesn't
bring the
work for the
state into
people.
your relationship, it's the first threesome. Now y'all done cheated already.
So now you have to do. Not to mention, I know I get Dave worked up on this topic and I love it actually. But not to mention going in, now they get to track everything you got, everything you make, everything
Right.
she got, everything she make
Well,
from here on out.
Well, that ain't gonna matter.
Well, no, because
2 years when we
when
go
you're
visit.
married,
You think
when
two?
you're married and do your taxes,
You don't think two?
when you're married and do your taxes
See, listen.
jointly,
Uh-huh.
is a different bracket. Everything is looked at
You done cut
differently.
yourself off from everything.
Yeah.
Because then you got two incomes. Well, you don't qualify for this, you don't qualify for that. If you're going to play that game, no, sir. Don't do it, young.
I just wanted Jimmy to hear it because it amuses me every time we talk
So,
about it.
you don't think it's gonna go digital? They pushing it now.
Let me- oh, let me-
Fed now or 5? No, that's Fed now shit.
That's some bullshit.
That's the bullshit.
Real quick, let me read Tavon's comment. Over on Facebook, Tavon said, damn, Dave, where were you in October? I just got married.
I'm saying the same shit. I ain't changed.
I gotta give it to you, Tay. You've been saying it before the
I
week.
ain't changed.
And Tavon had a bad ass fight.
I bet he did.
It was bad.
Hey, watch this. He got the certificate.
But he got this.
So stay away from the show, my guy, or you going downtown.
So do you necessarily need the certificate?
No! To be a union together. Because the thing is, the union is, once you propose, she say yes, you are a union.
That's the union. That's it.
So why people get
People get the certificate
Condition,
because
bro.
it's the condition of the
We
world.
were told
Watch
that's
it.
what we had to do.
Back in the day, when the man went out and took care of the family, the mother stayed home.
Wait a minute,
care of
Rodney.
the household, right?
right,
She educated the family. She grew the family up. Like
Right.
we made sure the money came into the house.
right.
They put that thought into women's head. Well, you don't need a man. You can do X, Y, and Z for yourself. You can get your own job.
Because now, like, I
Women's
watch
liberated.
what she
Time
bringing in. Because
But
at
it was
first,
only-
if the mother was home, she probably was cooking meals for somebody's house, washing their laundry.
Mhm.
They can't keep track of that money.
But the community was lovely.
But the original
Community was
reason
black
for
back
them
then.
to give women the same liberties was so that they could tax.
I was
Well,
great
people-
on it, man.
Okay.
I ain't feel it.
Okay.
Okay.
Real quick,
But
can you
that's
get the
exactly
Rodney
what
Pierce
it was.
comment? Are you on Rodney Pierce comment? Because he just said 2 comments. I want to make sure.
Ronnie said, I would like to say, make them truly separate but equal and honor the true spirit of the Title and 9
We're
sports.
talking about the diversity and the.
Oh, Title IX sports. Okay. Yeah.
What was the second one?
That's all I got. Oh, the first one was, this is a problem. People are afraid to speak out for fear of retribution and cancellation. He ain't lying there.
There you go.
Hey, one thing I know.
So,
Because I gotta say myself, a lot of shit I step back like Dave. We ain't
I'm
fucking
already-
with that topic. Dave, we ain't fucking with that topic, but certain things
I'm
you
already.
gotta be willing to go all
You
in.
got
This
to.
is my thing. I'm already broke. I'm already poor. You can't cancel me from shit.
But the thing is, it's like
Yeah.
What do you cancel me from?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
it's like for me, like I said, my ultimate goal is to be on a network, a sports network.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people have the capability of sitting home and just looking up some stuff. Like somebody might find this video and be like, "Well, Jimmy, what are you saying in this video?" I'm sitting here being educated on both sides.
Yeah.
We ain't bash nobody.
We ain't bashing
We
nobody.
didn't bash nobody.
Nobody.
Everybody
But when it
views
comes
and
down to
opinions.
that whole video,
It'll be when you
what's
said,
your take?
Yeah.
Then what you gonna
But-
say?
what do you
understand-
say
You gonna tiptoe?
Understand this though. Understand this.
that?
Right now,
Let me hear
what
Jimmy.
we
Can
doing-
I hear Jimmy?
hold up.
respond?
That's what I'm going to do. Right now, what we're doing is fine.
Mhm.
In 5 years, it won't be.
You see that right
And
there?
that's the difference.
Account restricted. Only you can see this. That's what you gonna be, my guy.
So Jimmy, be careful because you don't want to be Dave. I've never had to have my account restricted because
Do not be.
You know what I'm saying? So,
This is such and such on drugs.
this is
Do
your
not
brain on
yeah.
drugs with the cat. Any questions?
it's short now because some of the shit went off. But you see how I'm doing?
Yo, got 22 years restricted.
And so Jimmy, I want to say, like,
What I'm saying must be true.
it's good to have one in your
Well-
arsenal, but on your shit, keep it balanced. I
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
myself
yeah.
balanced. I let them know that
Like,
certain things are viewed in opinions. Like, I am not a person who, after a few shots of
Nobody
tequila,
should.
ain't gonna look at a woman and say she bad as shit. So I'm not bashing the LGBTQ plus
And-
community.
Right.
I'm just saying my thoughts on what the sport should be.
What this is people will take it as bash, but then they'll say, "Well, Jimmy, you know, with every black quarterback, they say, well, you ever thought about trying out for another position?" And like I find that to be a problem because
You need to stop moving in that corner.
they don't ask the white quarterbacks, can you play another position?
nope.
Right?
Like
Well,
why
And then the
You know straight from
well, they could ask Johnny
Some-
Manziel. He wasn't a good
He
quarterback.
was not a good coach.
what
Yeah.
do anybody know?
They never asked
If he
him.
was-
They don't know because they ain't seen him play. What, play about 2 seasons?
Yeah, he
But
was.
see, they keep that race at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
You got.
And
I'm gonna read the
too
comments
many
after you finish.
fall in line with that.
So since you fall in line, it's automatic. You already know we've been doing this for
Fall in
years.
line,
What
yo.
you gonna do? You gonna do this or that, or you can go. And most people
What happened to
say,
Kaepernick?
"Let me go ahead and do this."
They did him dirty. Where he been at though? You ain't heard nothing about Joe in like the last 2 years.
Not ever
You
since.
brought that little documentary and shit.
After the Nike deal and the documentary, you haven't heard anything.
Okay, Kaepernick said they did him greasy.
Mm-hmm.
He got paid already.
Yeah, he did.
Where you at?
Somewhere sitting down, counting the money.
Back, so.
Come on.
Waiting until they say, all right,
But
now you got a voice.
so-
Real quick, let me read this comment.
See?
Let me read this comment real quick. Davon Harley said, Tavon Harley said Dave has no problem bashing people. Jimmy, I suggest you get on the other side of the table where B is. He's gonna fuck up everything for you. Laugh on my ass off. Jimmy, you want pull up your seat over here, baby. You want going over here, Jimmy.
It's very young, bro. So you might want to go on the other side. I don't know.
But the thing is, like you said, it has to be balanced. And I understand what y'all saying.
Right.
Like, he says some crazy stuff, but he's also pointed out a lot of things.
And that's the thing.
A lot of
Catch.
that'll make you go back and be like,
You know what? And then it make you rethink.
So
That's why I said it's good to have a nigga in the hospital.
A lot of sports analysts don't have that balance.
Yeah.
And it take them a while to get to like Shannon. When Shannon first started, Shannon was he was hitting it.
Right.
And
I
then
love him.
but now
Skip.
now I would say he's
in the middle.
He's
He's kinda-
60-40.
Yeah.
You gotta push him to the edge for him to get that 40. When he take off them glasses, like that segment where Skip made him come out of character and say, well, Tom Brady's better than you. How you can't compare a quarterback and a tight end?
Right.
Like that bothers me.
But the thing is, why I got
But
put
see,
there?
Skip play any sport. Why is it even a
I played in
conversation?
like elementary school.
But the thing, Skip played baseball, but Skip is the a lot of people don't know Skip is the producer.
Yeah, he
And
is.
you can tell he's the producer because what's the topic? Tom Brady, Cowboys, LeBron James.
Because the producer is the person.
Tom Brady retired.
Yeah.
He got 3 topics now.
Why?
When LeBron James retired, what do he got?
Yeah. He a LeBron hater, dog.
He lived in LeBron James' head rent free.
Mm-hmm.
Every morning, LeBron James, I'm working out. Skip, this man, I need you to go. Skip, if you out there, I need you to do some research on LeBron James' upbringing. And then after you watch that, I want you to sit down, have a conversation with LeBron James.
The camera.
And you got a camera right here.
Talk to Skip.
You got another one right here. It's YouTube and Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I want you to do this.
Tell them what you said.
I want you to sit down with LeBron James and let him tell you his story about
Stay out the
how
corner.
he bounced around from house to house. He was living with his coaches.
Mm-hmm.
For him to go where he's at now. Now he has some shaky stuff on the road. We ain't gonna really talk about his dress code and stuff like that. But hey, Skip, you need to do your research, Skip.
And see that's another thing that take us back full
Get it
circle
right,
to the podcast thing. Be in control of your shit. See, I was nervous. I was scared. I thought your shit was insane. I said this nigga's just trying to cheat, trying to hit on me. But that was the best thing he could have did for me by saying, "V, you can do this." Because now I wish a motherfucker would say, "Oh, y'all, look, the show over." Who's show?
Yeah.
The show ain't over till I lock the door and turn off these lights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, you got to get yourself in that producer seat. You got to grow yourself up there. And don't let a motherfucker push you with their fire until, all right, now I'm ready. No, you got to know that, yeah, I can do this.
And see,
Hold on. I'm feeling that.
yeah.
Come on, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy.
Since we on the topic of podcasts, a lot of people will try to come on my podcast
Mhm.
and think they dominate me.
They try. Oh, they
try. Like, for instance, my father.
Mhm.
He would send me sports stuff. Like, he's a big MJ fan,
Okay.
and I kill him every time.
Every time.
Every time
You
he
better.
say, "Well,
You better
Michael
kill him with that.
Jordan was the greatest of all time." I didn't know Michael Jordan played in the 2000s. I didn't know he played in the 2010s. I didn't know he's still playing now. And the issue that I have with a lot of people is, and they do this in the black community a lot, we always compare other players to each other rather than say, well, they was just great when they was playing.
Yeah. In that era.
In that era. There is no such thing as the greatest of all time because nobody has played in every era.
Every single era. Like, have you played in everything? Can I look at you and say you've done all of it and now you're there?
Well, how can you say somebody's the greatest athlete when they never played every sport?
Right.
Like, I like Stephen A. for this, and he has his moments too where he be shaky, and you need to come on his show and get him right. But it's like a lot of people will tell you what to say and what to do on your own podcast,
Right.
and there's a lot of topics out there that people don't talk about.
That they won't touch.
Yeah, but I like these podcasts, but then I don't like certain people that's on these sports podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm getting back to the camera because it's about to get personal.
Please.
See, there are guys that played in the league that know X's and O's, but there aren't that many guys that played in the league that know the game.
They know it.
You know LaShawn McCoy.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he said he give people crazy work. When he said he was the greatest running back to come out of college, he must not have known Reggie Bush, and he must not have known Adrian Peterson.
Or Bo Jackson.
Or
Barry Sanders.
Right, like you can
we
go
go
to
on and on.
Yeah.
Now, first off, if anybody, he can model his game. He modeled his game, man. He was the closest to Barry Sanders.
Yes,
He was. He was the closest thing to Barry Sanders, but we have never seen another Barry Sanders. And the reason I say we've never seen another Barry Sanders, because he quit in his prime. So we still don't know what he could have been. He could have did so much more.
Right.
Actually,
Because the talent.
We know what he could have.
We know what he could have done.
Because
He gave us enough.
The greatest statistical running back of all time, Emmitt Smith. No,
Yeah.
he said it all the time. He said, "I'm glad Barry retired."
Yep.
Because if Barry would have continued playing,
Yeah.
The
The whole thing is, Emmitt's a Hall of Famer because Barry retired.
and the thing is,
Because
it
Emmett
was man of them to minute.
he had a big offensive line and he ran straight for it.
his offensive line gave him 5 yards,
And he
got
and
15.
he
Yeah.
was able to do the right.
And but he was never a dominant back. He was never shifty. He was never. He had none of that stuff. He just had the best line at the time. And I'm gonna
You
go.
can't
I'm
fault
gonna
him for that.
No, I'm gonna go further. He was the best back for that line
Mm-hmm.
because Barry Sanders would not have known what to do with that line.
But this thing right there, how many darker you folks that's a quarterback that don't stay in the pocket and make it do what it do?
Yeah.
How many of them
The
are
darker
darker?
hue.
How many are
I hate
lighter?
everything about him.
Yeah.
The darker hue.
So
Yeah,
I'm
No,
gonna
we not. Wait a minute. We don't went from
People talk
Negro,
about
Black,
it's
African American.
It's two
No, we are the darker
Because
hue.
you're either original or you're not.
It's
Yeah,
so right now,
that's
if you
it.
look around the league, most of your quarterbacks that are top of their game
Uh-huh.
are mobile and black.
Mm.
10 years ago, that was unseen. If it was one that was mobile and black,
That was blasphemy.
it was blasphemy, right? But the true quarterbacks that I feel like, and I'm gonna say one, Randall Cunningham does not get the pride
No!
that he deserves.
No, he doesn't.
Warren
He can do it
Moon,
all.
Warren Moon was probably one of the greatest passing quarterbacks. Because even though Doug Williams won a Super Bowl, I never saw Doug Williams as a great quarterback.
Steve McNair.
He was great. Steve McNair. I never saw Doug Williams as a great quarterback. He was great for
No,
the
we gonna be
team
talking about it.
that he was on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Turn that
But
Randall
Randall,
around. We
Randall,
don't post up.
the way he-
Ain't nobody but Thomas. It ain't Thomas. It ain't right.
There you go.
Randall transcended the game before we knew what we was out there to see.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? He was 30 years too early.
Mm-hmm.
Where people be like, oh, it was 10 years too early. Steve McNair, and what people don't understand about Steve McNair, he was probably one of the strongest and toughest quarterbacks that ever played the game. Right?
Mhm.
And he never reached his full potential just because his personal life got in the way.
Didn't he win the house?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Didn't he win the house?
Steve McNair, he might, yeah, I think he did.
And you know what school he came from? Alcorn.
Alcorn State.
HBCU.
Yes, yeah.
Just wanted to put that HBCU.
But
Real
he
quick,
never
let me
reached
get-
to me.
Can I get to Rodney Penn's comment real quick, y'all? David slipping. Well, he replying to him, so he not. Goats are for errors, and if you counting chips, Bill Russell is the great.
But you
Well,
know what?
well,
Oh,
Kareem was
Let
doing
me get
Go
back
ahead, bro.
to-
Go ahead.
He
Go
said
ahead.
Bill Russell is the greatest.
Uh-oh.
Man, it was 18s back then. I mean, I could have been the greatest if it was 18.
Yeah.
18.
And it was how many Hall of Fame was on that thing?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And he was like 13 feet tall.
And then we want to say the greatest player to touch a basketball.
Real quick, let me say this before you keep going.
Mhm.
On Facebook, Kevin Harley said, "Young boy is over there spitting fire."
So he said Bill Russell, but did he not know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Kareem.
never lost a basketball game in high school? He only lost 3 games in college and went to the championship multiple times to the point that they had to change the rules and told him he couldn't dunk.
Speaking, please.
Then he went to the
Ain't
league.
that some shit? You so great. We great. Change the rule.
He changed his name from Lou Alcindor to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because of his faith.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know. Milwaukee, when you think of a championship, you don't think of Giannis championship. You got to think of the first championship that they got with him and Oscar Robertson.
Yep.
Then he came to LA and won with Magic. So that notion that, well, Michael Jordan won by himself. No, Michael Jordan never won by himself. He won 10 scoring titles by himself.
Yeah.
He didn't start winning, and a lot of people forget. They don't never talk about from 84 all the way up to, I want to say, 90.
89, 90.
Yeah. That he was getting bounced. And they be so critical talking about LeBron James ain't 6-0. I mean, the fact that this man made it to, 10 plus finals?
That's
That's an achievement itself.
Can I just make a point that at 25 years old, all the knowledge you had, you used the word begot.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
You used the word begot.
My God. So I'm a Kobe fan.
Yeah.
I'm also a Mike
You
fan.
gotta give him
Yeah.
I love Jimmy.
But
People out there, Kobe Bryant is the
I'm
greatest.
a Kobe fan, right?
I'm a
Because
LeBron
Kobe
fan.
wanted it more than anybody else on the field.
Mhm.
And he was going to let you know. So, like, Dylan Brooks the other night when he said what he said about LeBron, Kobe would have said nothing to him. And he would have gave him 45. He might have gave him 80.
Yeah.
That's just who Kobe was.
He gave the greatest player 55 points when he played for Washington. When he told
I'm going to tell you, because he told him,
you
can wear my shoes.
can wear my shoes, you can never fill them. And
Yeah.
Kobe said, I got a 55 piece for you. Would you like some gravy on that biscuit?
Yep.
Damn.
So,
And take that.
and that's why when they
And
when
you
they
gotta
don't
be
when
that
they don't
with
put
a
Kobe in the GOAT conversation, I get pissed off. But the funniest thing in the world, and everybody do, is they say the greatest player of all time, but don't include centers. What?
What? You talking about the center that was number 1 all time in career points? The
That-
center that was top 5 rebound?
So I don't
That had
understand
6
why.
regular season MVP?
Right.
Come on. Come on.
Right.
Come on, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy.
So, and that's why
Right.
I be like, if you gotta take a whole position out of the conversation,
It don't
is
make
it a real
sense
conversation?
because the thing is, how can one be great without the other?
You can't. Now, Mike,
Everybody gotta have that
Don't
one
get it
person
twisted.
that can help them push or get them where they need to be to
Mike-
make what they want to do great.
Don't get
Let's
it
be honest.
Don't get it twisted. Mike was Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm gonna tell you this: it has not been anybody else in the league that could ever been Mike until Kobe came.
Mhm.
And the reason I said that is because, and Gary Payton said it best, because he wanted to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He wanted to know. He was a student of the game, and that's why
And that's
Kobe
what the
was
difference
different.
is.
Now he
Yes.
played in a different market. He played in LA, so you expected more and all of that kind of stuff. And a lot of things that people don't understand is what took away from Kobe was playing with Shaq. Because he had to dumb down his game because Shaq was the face of the team for those 3 championships. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's why I sit back and when I listen to these people talk, I be like, man, listen. And Kobe was so great. He's the only person in the league that ever called Shaq out to be what he was.
I'm gonna
Because
tell
in the
you.
league, Shaq was a bust.
I'm gonna tell you for me when
I
people
agree.
because I'm a big
yo.
I'm a big basketball fan. But for me, when they get into those topics, I don't get into it. If anything, I think you sound like a commercial.
Because it's a barbershop.
Because you going to commercial. Are we gonna go commercial or we gonna go real
Shaq was
real
lazy.
players?
He never worked on this game. And Kobe was the only person willing to call him out about
And that's a testament.
it. And that's a testament to who Kobe was. Man.
Like a lot of people don't know, Kobe got 13 all defensive teams. 13, 9 first team first team all defensive team, which is tied for an NBA record. Who's up there? Gary Payton and Michael Jordan. But we don't talk about Kobe Bryant playing defense. In 06, he should have won defensive player.
He should have won. And what year did Nash win? That he should have won.
Nash won MVP because he had the number one
I want to read
seed,
this comment with you.
and he had 15 points and 10 assists. Kobe Bryant had 35.1 points per game.
Yeah.
And they were the fourth or fifth seed.
Let me say this real quick. Over on Facebook, Teron Holly said Jimmy is 25 with 2 question marks. He talked like somebody's uncle.
Yeah.
He knows his shit.
He knows his shit.
What did we just get over there on Instagram?
Rodney said, I repeat, goes to for Earth. If you're counting championships, no one has more, but this is what they are making out the GOAT about my personal pick.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the
I think a lot of this shit is commercial. Like you said earlier when the show first started, people look at what they see and they be like, yup, and then before you know it, everybody go with that. If you don't got a love for the game, a knowledge of the game, the passion of the players, you don't have a clue.
Now watch this.
Like I don't know a thing about football, but I'm able to sit here in the whole conversation. You wouldn't know.
Right? Take all of that out. At the end of the day, it's still a business.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you have the athleticism, I enjoy it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? It makes you want to continue to watch. But once you realize that all the games are rigged, it's sport entertainment at the end of the day, then you have a better understanding.
And then you completely understand why so many people, the centers, these different things get overlooked because it ain't even about the passion of the sport.
And then it goes back to
It's
the
about
original
and then you have people that play the game and it's really passionate about what they do.
Sure.
You have Michaels because Michael ain't get better to me until, and I'm a Michael. I argue down about Mike until Kobe, but until he got his fadeaway. When he got his fadeaway, he transitioned. He transcended the sport at that time, right?
Is that when he cut the ball head?
He been had that.
Well, no,
He wasn't good. He
had LeBron at one time.
Yeah, he was one of these.
Oh yeah,
But it was one of those things where but if you look at Mike, Mike got better every year.
Sure.
He changed this game and improved this game every year.
Sure.
Kobe, this is the thing when I realized how special Kobe was. When they was telling the story of him going to, and Kevin Hart tells it the best because he was at the basketball camp. He was like, man, I was D'ing Kobe up. I'm like, I got this. I thought I was playing the best of my life.
Stop right there.
But
How the fuck is Kevin Hart D'ing up Kobe?
listen,
How?
hold on, that's what I'm getting to.
Let's hear it.
Yo said the coach came to him after the fact and was like, yeah, he only came here so he could work on his left hand. He was only scoring with his left hand the whole time he was at the
Something that
camp.
he don't normally
That
do.
he don't do.
Okay.
He went to a camp one season,
Just to learn how to work
but
with
this was
your
in
hand.
high school. This was not the NBA. This was in high school. And all he scored with the whole time he was there was his left hand.
And that's the difference. That's the difference
That's what separated the man from the boy.
I was going to say, and that's the difference of wanting it, knowing you can get it, and going and do it versus here I go, look at me. I know how to do it. It's a difference. It's a different knowledge.
Steph Curry.
Steph was not as good as college.
He was nice.
He was nice, but he ain't have handles.
Davidson?
Man.
A lot of people don't pay attention to his Davidson days.
Yeah, actually.
He was the man. Because
Davidson.
LeBron James was there and he witnessed, because both of them from Akron, Ohio.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that. But Steph, what was they saying? Oh, Steph didn't show up in the 2015, 2016 finals. Who was the leading scorer on that team?
Steph. Yep.
But they gave it to Andre Iguodala because he guarded LeBron James. And LeBron James averaged 40 and 10.
Yeah, I still don't understand.
What we won't do is mention LeBron James at any low level.
Well, it goes back to what you said about the man.
And it goes back to that. It goes back to that. It goes back to that. I gotta say, this has been a really, really good show. It's been 2 hours. We were supposed to be here from 6 to 7. And now it is 8:01.
That's what I'm talking about. Though.
So we going to wrap up. I gotta think, Jimmy, you did.
Let me say, yeah. Can I get my outro?
Can I finish though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jimmy, you did a great job. You came ready. I need you to give the people your podcast information so they can know how to follow you. And I need to know, when are you coming back in here? Because we're gonna need you back in
Let me tell
here.
you something. You can bring back anytime you want.
Any topic?
Any topic. Also, you can find me on YouTube at Vitamin Sports LLC. You can find me on Spotify at Vitamin Sports, Apple Podcasts, Vitamin Sports. I'm actually was down at Upton, and I did these two guys, Noah and Tyson. They're young boxers, 3-time Golden Gloves, and they trying to go pro.
Awesome.
And I was giving them the platform. I said, "This ain't for me. This for y'all." I said, "I'm building like y'all building. I like to promote other people."
That's
because
me.
I'm coming along the way too.
Because I'm coming along. How y'all coming along?
Yeah. So like I said, oh yeah.
So
but I'm but you gonna say
I said you
the real one. See that that's only 15. I got 200 takes on Anchor Podcast.
So please, Touche, send it to me so I can be.
I got you. So this is y'all gotta understand something, right? Years ago, I met this Veronica, young lady named Veronica. Young lady. I even brought it down. So you see, I brought it down. So years ago,
I said, be great, little Jimmy.
Years ago, I met this young lady named Veronica, and in my position and what I've done, I've always been able to spot the talent before even people see it.
Before you even.
You understand what I'm saying? This dude had already saw his.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started listening and I started hearing him speak and me and his mother talk every now and again, and I'd be like, you got something special in that kid, you know what I mean? So when he reached out to me, he was like, man, you gotta get me on. I want to come and see how y'all do it. Mm-hmm. And this is funny because I want to say 10, close to 15 years in the game. I know 9 or 10 for you, right, Dave?
Yeah.
11, 12 for you, right?
Right.
And he don't look like he knew at all.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? If he would have never said to anybody that he was 25 years old
and where he was starting from,
and where he was starting, nobody would have ever questioned that. You know what I mean? And it's only special individuals in this world that can do stuff like what he's doing right now. You know what I mean? And when you got a gift, you got a gift. You understand what I'm saying?
And sometimes people gotta tell you.
We talk about the young Kobe's and the young Mikes and stuff like that. And we got a young Jimmy sitting here holding his own with Mr. Controversy himself. You know what I mean?
Miss Big Mouth herself.
The mouth of the South. And me, I play the background because I like to be a part. I like to know everything that's going on around me and stuff like that. But I also know how to see the special in people.
But you know what, Touche? That is the most important role to play. Like I said, like now to have my own studio, and I only had it since November, and it's still amazing to me. And everything I do before I do it, I made these glass things on the wall. I seen that when I was like, I probably can do that. In everything I do, I call Touche and like, what you think about this? Before I charge airtime fee, what you think about this? Everything I do, it's always good to have that person who see your potential. Because I went to the interview at the radio station, and they was like, well, let's tell us, and I'm telling them about myself because I had no idea. I only went because Kermit said, Twin, you should go to the interview. And I was like, what? I'm not doing this. Yeah. But I was like, all right, just because that's my twin, and he saw it. Yeah. So I said, I'm going to go. And I went, and she's like, I like your interview. Let's see what you do on the radio. And I said, ho. And I was in shock and fell back. Yeah. But they were like, no, let's just see what people say, react to your voice and your conversation. And I was like, well, long as I can talk straight and about what I know, we good. As soon as they got in there, and it was like, all right, well, get ready. And I was like, well, I'm ready. I tell people all the time, I'm like Banner. I'm like the Hawk on the first Avengers when they was all fighting aliens at the end. Banner pull up on a motorcycle, and they say, all right, Banner, we need you to get ready. We need you to get angry. And he was looking this way. He turned back and said, "That's the secret. I'm always angry." I'm telling you, like you seen me come in running around when that camera live. It's your girl, and I just came from getting my hair done, this, and that. But you gotta always be ready. Always be ready. You came here today on fire. Like I said, like all your knowledge was just like boom, 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 all in your head. And I gotta say, Touche, you big on seeing that. So even though it was a conversation, I was like, oh God, David is gonna blow this shit up. He's gonna get shut down. I knew if Touche said bringing them in, it was a no-brainer. Okay, well, if Touche sees something, then we need to bring them. It wasn't even a question of what day, maybe next week. Once he said we need to bring you in, that was it. The loaded gun was the one I was writing. That's why I had to warn you ahead of time. The views and the opinion from this picnic, bro. Yeah. It's not the views and the opinions of the whole studio.
But it's crazy because I met plenty of guys like him, so it doesn't faze me.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's a great thing to have a guy like that.
What he said, it's how he said. That you got to listen to it. It might not be agree about what you hear, but then it'll hit you in the back of your head. Like maybe okay, let me go there. You know what, man? I researched what you said. You was right. Don't lunch on me.
Come on.
Right. Is that especially that's why I love him to spit the knowledge about that merge like this.
We talked about voting though earlier, and he was like, "Well, why you don't vote?" I said, "You don't want to talk about that now, right now." He was like, "Why?" I said, "Because it's gonna be logical, and you're gonna be like, oh."
And you've been voting all the time. You're gonna be like,
I tell you all the time, I will vote to the day that I die because that's what my mother asked me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If she don't ask nothing else,
because they come from a heritage where you didn't have the option to. So now you got the option to, you do it.
And so for my mother, I will vote to the end of time.
Right.
Now what I do tell people is I don't always vote Democrat. I don't always vote Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I vote for who fits the narrative of where my vision is at the time.
Okay, so can I interject?
Yeah.
If no one fits,
I don't vote.
then you're not respecting your mother then?
No. Listen,
David.
No, because
what you think about on?
I talked to him. No, we
you talked to him.
No, we talked.
You talk after our last drink about 3 years ago?
No. Because remember, it wasn't.
Remember that conversation? Well, my mother said vote, so I vote.
What? I told you that. That's my real.
Right.
That's my real.
I'm trying to make up comments to Jimmy.
I don't always vote in the the preliminaries and all that.
Right.
I don't fit the agenda.
All right, so can I read it?
You know what I mean? Like that dude.
I'm gonna tell you, I always thought that I was the only person that thought that way until I met David, because I never said it out loud because it starts a horrible controversy, and then I gotta make you rethink your shit. If that's your way of thinking, your mom way of thinking, do your shit. But once I met Dave. And I was sitting there trying to be a lady. I'm new to the show. I'm at somebody's studio in their home. So it's like, let me be. Yeah. But I already know Touche and bring me in here to be the cute, quiet lady. Yeah. But I sat there, but once the shit got rolling, it got so bad, the man who owned the studio got the fuck up and left. Oh, bye. Yeah, because he wasn't expecting. He rolled out.
He rolled out. This nigga went upstairs.
He went upstairs.
Came back. But he never went to the couch on the laptop like I ain't good with this bitch. Real quick, y'all, let me read something. Shout out to Jimmy. Mike said, Jimmy, you shining, little Jimmy. Rodney Pierce said, me take that bottle. What you say? Take the bottle from Dave? Oh my God, I can't go back. But it's man love to Jimmy. Rodney Pierce said, stay the course. Young man, so you doing a great job.
You still have
and that's the thing. Big Mike said Miss B gonna be great. Thank you, Big Mike.
Thank you, Big Mike.
Rodney Pierce said confidence and knowledge is a great thing. Again, he said Miss B gonna be all stars, and I thank you. Like it's a big deal, and I can't say Miss B without Touche. Like most people don't notice the difference between Veronica and Touche. As soon as we started, he said, okay, keep her on.
Yeah, that's why.
Once you get in here,
Because once she starts, it's Miss V.
it's Miss B, and I'm a totally different person. Because when we leave here, I'm gonna say, all right, Jimmy, see you, have a great night. But if I say while we in here, I'm gonna say, nigga, you fucked up the show, nigga, yeah. I'm gonna be somebody different, and I gotta always give the hats off to Shay to forming Miss B. I always got to.
Before you leave, right? I want to propose a question from a young brother for him to do some research and come back.
All right.
This is a 2-part question.
So is he able to come back on the show and do it, or is it like a conversation on the phone?
Oh,
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm involved.
You'll call me in the background.
Right. We know you're not. We know you're not, big fella.
But watch this. We talked about religion and sports.
Right.
Right? In religion, they say that who's the ruler of the world? Is he? He's the ruler of the world?
All right. Well, look, just propose your question and let the man come back with the shit. Don't put him on the spot. Yo, say the whole thing.
Not the ruler of the spot.
Don't give him a piece about it. All right. So
Okay.
what you
Let
need
me
to
rephrase
ponder?
the question.
What is he pondering on?
If Satan was cast down to earth, okay? Satan represents what? When you see a picture, they represent him how?
Fire and flame.
Or
Devil. Horns.
Horns.
and he look like what?
A red.
What animal?
A goat.
Okay. When they go to sports, it will speak on who is the
You
GOAT.
great, Riley.
No. Actually,
Who is the GOAT?
Actually, I get what he's saying.
You feel
You
me?
see it already?
Because Taraji said something that was close to this.
P. Henson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, talk to me.
She was
She
saying.
did some good stuff.
She said how. She said when you put yourself as the greatest of all time, you put yourself above him.
Woo! Woo!
Because I was one of those people that said, you know, I'm the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say it, I don't mean it that way. Because without him, I wouldn't be here. So I use it differently. But I get what she's saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would say, man, I'm the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
I'm this, I'm that. And you just said the depiction of the devil is basically a goat. So.
They even had tennis shoes coming out as hooves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Listen, yo, it is motherfucking. We've been here. Rodney P's over here dying.
Next week, bro. Talk to me.
Like, yo say give V take his bottle.
And watch this. Watch this. Last thing. If the devil is the prince of the air, and they call Michael Jordan his Air Jordan. See y'all later.
What days do you have? What days do you come on? Stuff live or you edit it?
So what I do is I do podcast version.
Yeah.
And I do edited videos. Like tomorrow I will be dropping Smash and Sniper.
Okay.
That's their boxing name. And I'm looking to probably do another podcast. No weapons, no glory. Basically with the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
The great ones don't need weapons. The mediocre ones do.
They do. All right, so we need to
So
find out what day we can
about
get you
that.
back.
Could be.
Can I
Is
read
there a
it?
great quarterback without a line?
Of course not. The line is the most important position.
Please and thank you. You can't be great unless I got your fucking back.
Come on now.
Listen, I tell everybody.
Somebody asked me, why you adjusting your camera? Because the fuck Touche
If you
said so.
If you
Nigga,
look,
I didn't get 12
if
years
you
in the
look
game
at-
not listening to
Right.
this man.
There you go.
people argue me down when I say this. One of the greatest quarterbacks to never get the opportunity was Jeff George.
Yeah.
He could throw every ball on the field. If you look at him in college, so when he went to high school, college, and the NFL, he could make every throw. He never had a fair shake at the NFL because his team and his line sucked.
Yeah, no protection,
He
man.
had no protection, so it made him look like he was
So it made
trash.
him look like he was
But if
trash.
you but I look at players for what they produce, right?
Mhm.
And if you look at the times when he was time in the pocket, he never had real weapons,
Mhm.
anything, but he could make every single throw on the field. People were like, a lot of people, if you look at Jeff George, you be like, his stats suck.
Mhm.
He was trash. Okay. But look at his overall game. and he could make every throw. Tom Brady wasn't great.
Al Bundy, yo.
Tom Brady wasn't great because he was great. Because Tom Brady can't make every throw.
His line,
His
yo.
line was the greatest line. Probably ever. Listen, there's two players in the league that are great now: Emmett and Tom Brady, because of their offensive line.
So look, we're not gonna keep going.
All right, let's go.
We're gonna
Let's
go down
go.
again.
Yeah,
Real
let's
quick, over on Facebook, Tavon said, shout out to the young boy.
Yeah.
He came back to say when you asked your question about Dave on some bullshit.
Like always.
Put this nigga
Like always.
to the halt. Again, I gotta say, Jimmy, thank you for being here. Touche, thank you for seeing great in me. You know I say that all the time, but to say it on live, let people know that I'm loud and I can do 50 interviews back to back, and every time I get on camera, I look like it's the first one. It's only because Touche like, come on, you know you got this shit. He in the back of my head at all fucking times, and I can be worn out. And I'm gonna get on the camera. It's your girl. Like the fuck, I just woke up. So always keep somebody great back there. He a jerk at other times, but for the most part, he's great for me. All right, y'all. I'm gonna say straight up. This has been Tru Grit. It's your girl, Miss V, the boy, Big Dave.
All right, appreciate y'all, man. Love.
Touche the Dawn.
Holla.
Jimmy, what we gonna call? Let me let you say your own name, cause I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Jimmy Johnson Jr. here and live.
That's JJJ in the building. I started to say something else funny, but I had to. JJJ will be.
I was gonna come back when he said that. I was like, so you a junior?
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have you back in the building.
Yeah,
You just
back.
get in touch with Touche and say, you know what, I got something good. I think y'all.
I want to hear that good response. That's what I want to hear.
So digest it, Jimmy. Then come on back. We waiting for you. You don't gotta be next week. You don't gotta be next Wednesday. But we here for you, okay? All right, y'all. Peace out. Please continuously to tune in. The next show, live from Town of Jam Studios, will be this Saturday, 9 a.m. on the On Point Show. Follow behind. What's the show? Come on next. The Break Room. Always got something going on good in the building. It's your girl. Peace